The extraordinarily mighty Guan panicked at this time. She subconsciously covered her chest, but in that battle, Guan had completely revealed her details. What Su Xing should have seen had already been seen. At this time, this practically was unnecessary. A powerful surge suddenly shook the room. Supervoid Cultivator. Su Xing also turned grave, wondering to himself just whether or not he had luck with the ladies or the misfortune of love affairs. To inexplicably and unexpectedly save Guan on the contrary was enough. Now that the Devil Palace's Supervoid cultivators had been drawn over, if he was seen, Su Xing recognized that other than using the Jade pendant, he had no other ways. What do we do? Su Xing asked her. Looking around the room, it was truly clean to the point there were completely no hiding places. Other than a screen that could block him off, there no places to duck into, but to have Su Xing just use the Jade pendant like this, he was very unreconciled. Just saving Guan left him very unreconciled, and now he was to use the Jade pendant because of her. Su Xing truly wanted to curse the heavens. Did someone goof somewhere? Didn't he only see Guan Ying's naked body? This price was too severe. Do not come in. Guan shouted. You do not have the qualifications to order us. From outside came Ming Dai's sneer. Seeing the grin beyond the forbid dance, Guan Ying's face turned pale as she retreated backwards, her whole body shuddering. How could she ever accept that the grand brave star would unexpectedly be seen with a man spending alone time together, besides being in a terrible mess? If word got out, the brave star would rather die. Seeing Guan Ying's panicked eyes were red, Su Xing was helpless. This room's forbid dance was too powerful, and he completely had no way to flee. Boom! The main gate was pushed open. Cold mist diffused everywhere, and the room actually appeared to be in an array. Ming Dai and the others were stunned to see this scene, astonished. Not daring to be careless, should something truly have happened to Guan, they would bear the blame. Do not come here. Guan Ying's cold voice came from behind the screen. Heavenly Commandment and Elder Dried Bone looked at each other. They obediently retreated beyond the door to check if anyone had escaped. Ming Dai closed the doors and gazed at this disorderly scene. There seems to be the scent of a man and woman in the air. Ming Dai walked over towards the screen, not at all caring about Guan Ying's warning. Do not come here, this general is not covered. Guan shouted. Guan, you sound a bit worried. Could it be you are secretly meeting a man? Ming Dai suddenly burst in, shattering the screen. The sight before her immediately stunned her. She saw only Guan reclining in the bathtub, her legs folded to the side. Her hand held a towel she used to wipe her body. Those plump peaks of hers did not enter the water, making Ming Dai look on with extreme envy in her heart. Guan coldly looked at Ming Dai, her pale cheeks somewhat flushed, but her eyes extremely robust, like iron. Ming Dai was taken aback. She looked at the surroundings and sniffed. She played with a black butterfly with her finger. Odd, there definitely was the scent of a man just now. How has it instantly disappeared? Are you alone? Ming Dai asked. Need I wait for you all? Guan sneered. What happened just now? Ming Dai walked over. The skin of Guan Ying's whole body was involuntarily stretched taut. Her legs clamped, unexpectedly displaying an attack stance. That first-rate martial general's expression stabbed just like a knife. Ming Dai subconsciously stopped. We are both women, there is nothing to be ashamed of. Do not approach this general. Guan Ying's tone sunk. Although Ming Dai was very disdainful, she nevertheless knew these star generals could not be provoked for the time being. Seeing the waves of the tub, Ming Dai felt somewhat awed. Glancing over, her gaze just so happened to fall on the spot between Guan Ying's legs. Past that spot of clear water, she could see a patch of black underbrush. Oh, this chief of the 5 tiger generals Guan is honestly lush down there. Guan Ying's face turned thoroughly red. Her legs clamped together, and a jet of water broke Ming Dai's line of sight. This Huaqing water is but very precious. Do not be too arrogant just because it is being used for the sake of your recovery. Ming Dai stepped back. Her eyes looked at this extremely messy place that was without anything peculiar. Ming Dai shook her head. It appeared that she was oversensitive. I shall help you increase your guard detail. No need. Guan declined. Can you leave? This general does not like someone watching from the side. As you wish. Ming Dai did not want to look either. Each additional time she looked at Guan, those absolutely slender jade legs and plump jade peaks made her even more jealous. For what reason did these star maidens innately possess such stunning looks? Could it be that no one knew this would increase the level of beauty on the streets in Liangshan continent needed to make someone blurt out, "Why is every woman I meet a beauty?" The hall's doors closed. Guan seemingly flew out from the Huaqing pool like lightning. With a whirl, she landed, she draped herself in a general's cloak. Her hands wrapped it around her, covering her body's sensual sights. The water in the bathtub parted, and a man took a deep breath as he climbed out. It was none other than Su Xing. The two looked at each other. Su Xing sneered. Guan Ying's face was red, her eyes cold. Thinking back to the situation just now that was truly suspenseful, just as the supervoid cultivator was about to burst through the doors, Su Xing was prepared to use the chaotic tail escape to force his way through. The good and bad of Guan Ying's reputation was the only reason why he did not care. Who was he kidding? He should be thanking the heavens to be able to save her once already, to burn incense and worship Buddha, and to even think of her reputation. He still was not so smitten to this degree. But Guan nevertheless would not be this willing. If she and a man were discovered naked together in the bath, the insult to her own self if word was to get out was small, but the shame to the brave star's name would be most severe. For this reason, Guan instantly stuffed Su Xing into the bathtub. No mistake, that Ming Dai did not see Su Xing was because Su Xing was already hiding in the bathtub. While Ming Dai and Guan spoke, how could this supervoid cultivator ever have thought that Su Xing was currently squeezed between Guan Ying's legs, obscuring his figure? That lushness was actually none other than Su Xing's hair. Guan would never have dared to think about this kind of intimate position. However, the brave star was different from any other girl that Su Xing had seen. In fact, Su Xing had encountered quite a number of alluring and erotic ones, but regardless of however many, each woman had her own, different reaction. Anger, indignation, bashfulness, or pleasure, there was always an emotion, but Guan was different. She acted as if nothing happened, carrying on her conversation. Even if the bathtub space was so narrow she had no choice but to shamefully allow Su Xing to kneel. Her own secret place had been placed right under a man's nose, so close even that the top of his nose and lips were stuck on. She could even feel his scorching breathing. If you speak of this general will kill you. Guan Ying's threat appeared utterly devoid of power. As if Su Xing would speak of this. What would his wives think? Even he knew this. I won't change our positions just because of this. Su Xing coldly said. Guan nodded. Compared to extravagant promise or the consolation of sweet talk, as far as words were concerned to the brave star, this sort of determination to fight to the death was more convincing. Therefore, the two of them believed their own lies. Nothing had ever happened. Other than that faint blush on Guan Ying's face that was still incapable of abating. What matter has Chai Ling entrusted you to seek out this general for? Guan changed the topic. Su Xing recalled his purpose and sternly said, I want to take a soul from your devil star weapon. What? Guan was astonished. White stripe in the waves Zhang Yuqi was cut by you, and her soul was taken by the 9 nether devil star stone to be refined into a devil star. I've come to take it. Su Xing already made his preparations to take it by force. So long as Guan said the word no, then he would take action. Guan nodded. Zhang Yuqi, that sister who surprisingly protected her own elder sister, the brave star had a very deep impression of her. The 9 nether devil star stone is surprisingly even capable of this. You're the contractor, could it be you didn't know? Su Xing sneered. Guan Ying's eyes showed grief, then her expression was ice cold. She waved her hand, and the great blade flew over to Su Xing. "Take it yourself if you can." Su Xing wrinkled his brows. It seemed that what Chai Ling was right. This brave star actually had been truly deceived, but recalling her conduct and deeds, he could not help but itch to kill her. Su Xing took the purple brilliant moon-slashing blade. His divine intent swept across it, and he immediately felt acute pain. Such a powerful devil weapon. The 5 devil stars flowed like a river. A glance was enough to give anyone chills. "You're just fine using this kind of weapon." Su Xing was stern. Guan was silent. Su Xing shook his head. Urging on his divine intent, he very quickly found a weak devil star. This devil star was currently in a chrysalis. Su Xing's hand grabbed it. Concentrating Buddhist light, he struck it. Endless Buddhist light was imbued into the devil star. He dripped with sweat. Guan expressionlessly watched his actions. "You are the purple thunder monster." Guan suddenly knitted her brows. The devil star finally shattered under Su Xing's catalyst, and a soul floated out. The soul nurturing would received it, and Su Xing immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Seeing this terrifying devil star of surging killing intent, Su Xing tossed it back to her in disgust, as if he would feel nauseous for its spending another second in his hand. "You'd best not use it. The price of this devil weapon will make you turn into a puppet for killing people. Don't tell me that the brave star wants to become this sort of machine." Su Xing sneered. "Your naked body was bared in front of me just now. Doesn't that humiliation pale in comparison to becoming a walking corpse?" Guan said with hatred, "Of course this general knows. If you have a way to dispel this 5-star devil weapon, this general would not hesitate at all to do so." "You're actually thinking of this?" Su Xing was taken aback. Guan heavily nodded her head, resolute and decisive. "I'll go ask Chai Ling for you." Su Xing thought. To be able to help dispel the 5 devil stars on the destined weapon, and to be able to help Guan repent and mend her ways, to step onto the journey of the star duels was actually not a bad thing. "This general thanks you." Guan apologized. Her cloak slid off, revealing her body. Su Xing fake coughed, and Guan Ying's ears again flared with fire. Su Xing aimed and shook the soul-nurturing wood at the comatose Zhang Yuqi. The soul was subsequently sucked in, and Zhang Feiyu hastily used the mind-setting grass to brew mind-setting water that she poured into Zhang Yuqi's mouth. Zhang Yuqi slightly groaned, and her body calmed. Her pale complexion showed color. Su Xing looked at the birth treasure outline again. Her status was currently fading slowly away. "Su Xing, truly thank you so much for this." Zhang Feiyu said gratefully. "Thank Chai Ling. If it wasn't for her, I couldn't have possibly helped Zhang Yuqi take back her soul so smoothly." Su Xing shook his head. "Either way, Chai Ling is your woman anyways." Zhang Feiyu blabbered. Su Xing and Chai Ling were somewhat embarrassed. "When will little sister be able to awaken?" Zhang Feiyu asked. "This will require a few days' time." Chai Ling replied. "Dear husband, is there still something on your mind?" Huaqing saw that Su Xing's brow was tightly locked, so she asked. Su Xing stared at Huaqing. He hesitated. In the end, he smiled. "It's just that I spotted Guan was weakened and didn't kill her. I feel that I've let wife down." Huaqing smiled. She shook her head in understanding. "Dear husband need not be troubled." Dear husband had received elder sister Chai Ling's trust. If you killed her, you would have broken your promise with elder sister Chai Ling and have become despicable person. Guan Nyangzi definitely will personally kill her, in order to rid the hatred in Nyangzi's heart. Saying these last few words, Huaqing was extremely cold. Chai Ling slightly sighed. Su Xing looked at her, and a peculiar glint flashed through Chai Ling's eyes. Liked it? Chai Ling, Guan wants to get rid of the devil star. Su Xing spoke of Guan Ying's request. Get rid of the devil star. This palace shall go investigate. Chai Ling nodded. Does that brave star Great Blade Guan want to dispel the 9 nether devil star stone? Shi Yu was astonished. She actually is not very bad. Even so, this does not make up for what she has done. Zhang Feiyu coldly snorted. Hun Yangzi's eyes were filled with hate. Su Xing patted her shoulder. Hun Yangzi knew his kind intentions and showed a sorrowful smile. It would truly great if the stone can be removed. We will have an even greater chance the next time we confront Guansheng. Shi Yu said. The 5-star Great Blade actually was too defiant of the natural order. Before the 4th phase began, she was already very difficult to face. Only if they had their own 5-star divine weapon could they possibly be a match, let alone that the 9 nether devil star stone weapon was too terrifying. One slash was fatal. Uncontracted star generals would starfall into the blade, which was truly hair-raising. However, if Guaning truly removes the 9 nether devil star stone, that moment will be the time she starfalls. Zhang Feiyu chuckled. Is she not afraid of starfalling? Rather than suffer and become such a sinner of a brave star, how is starfall not a means of freeing herself? However, a contracted star general is not allowed to do this. Chai Ling muttered. Only she herself could know a question like this. Deep night, cool clear water, a full moon. Su Xing sat in his room refining that frost flame. The bean-sized frost flame again was several sizes larger and even more concentrated. Perhaps it could battle a star general after a little more time. The Gongsun Huang in the star nest still needed a few more days to be able to recover. Recalling the Huaqing pool that Guaning used to quickly recuperate, Su Xing also pondered whether or not he should take some precautions, so as to avoid long times waiting uncomfortably in the star nest. Su Xing walked out of his room. The heavens were adorned with myriad stars, the moon bright as a mirror. Calculating carefully, it should be mid-autumn over on Earth now. Su Xing reminisced. Although he was already accustomed to fighting on all sides from his time in the military, deploying to peripheral regions and not being home for the whole year, that Su Xing could adapt so quickly after coming to Liangshan was because of this reason. But people were not plants. Who could be so ruthless, to even now from the very first star duel want to obtain the wish to go back? A year passed in the blink of an eye, and then a century seemed to pass. Su Xing noticed that he was already incapable of bringing himself to separate from Lin Yingmei and the rest. Naturally, he had no capability to mention of returning, and he had unconsciously changed his wish from the star duels to helping the beautiful girls accomplish their long-cherished dream of finally ending the cycle of the star duels. Boundless and vast, staggering along, through the bumps in the road, through the ups and downs. In his distraction, Su Xing discovered that he had already changed. Longing welled up in his heart, and he suddenly recalled an army song, a song about goodbyes that were too late. Maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day, I'm already stepping into the ranks of battle. All of my thoughts are bound in my backpack, and my army sack has tied up all of my conflicts. Gazing at the barracks is a short silence, the dove that flies over is reluctant to part. I hug my rifle tight against my chest, my gaze calmly staring at the plains. Ah! Maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day. Faraway kin, maybe you can understand. Ah! I was too late to say goodbye that day. To shout out the motherland, which is also so dear, the army song was loud and resonant, piercing the tranquil night, carrying a slight sadness that nevertheless did not let anyone feel sorrow. Liangshan continent had never had a song conquer the Great Circle Castle. The half-drunk, half-awake Kong Ho was suddenly a bit sober. The charming Chai Ling stroked the three-eyed wealth-inviting beast, her eyes half shut. Shi Yu was entranced. Zhang Feiyu thought, where did this evildoer come from? Completely going against the traditional modes of Liangshan continent's music, yet it was also composed so emotionally. Little sister, quickly wake up and see your man. Su Xing stopped singing. Only then did he feel he had been too passionate. He saw that the Great Circle Castle was absolutely silent, quiet enough for people to feel shaken. He wondered if he had disturbed everyone. The affairs of man are complicated, happy with time, sad when losing it. I know only that the purple seal cord is noble, I do not feel this is a dream of golden millet. 2. Recalling that dream of golden millet line from the verse, Su Xing disdainfully smiled. The door opened, and Su Xing turned his head back. Huanyangzi wore water blue palace dress. Like mist, she daintily entered the room. Wife, what are you doing this late? This cliché phrase sounded rather ambiguous. Huanyangzi gently closed the door, taking Su Xing aback. Dear husband, something heavy is on your mind? Huanyangzi walked over. I'm sorry, I've let you down. Su Xing smiled. Huanyangzi slightly shook her head, sitting directly on the bedside. Red clouds flew across her cheeks, and her beautiful eyes rippled. Huanyangzi laid upon the bed. The girl's curves inherently were beautiful, and she was wearing a short skirt, underwear like water blue shirt. Please see original profile for Huanyangzi. 3. Muslin streamers, the figure underneath faintly discernible. Light clouds left the mountain peak. Her hair sprawled chaotically over the bed, and her chest was half exposed. The bright star closed her eyes, burying her head into the pillow. She gently bit her red lips, quietly laying there. Wife. Su Xing walked over. A watery fragrance assailed his nostrils, more beautiful than a butterfly, more clear than snow. Su Xing had even thought that Huanyangzi was uncomfortable. He subconsciously reached out his hand to touch her forehead. Immediately, he felt that he had done more than was needed. How could a star general have a fever? However, Huanyangzi suddenly fell onto the bed, her silence making Su Xing slightly worried and bewildered. Does dear husband not wish to ask Nyangzi about what happened that night? Huanyangzi whispered. When she said this, Su Xing grunted. Why didn't you resist? Is it because I'm your contractor? Huanyangzi shook her head, her long eyelashes shuddering. Because Nyangzi has embraced her resolution for inevitable death. What? Su Xing was shaken. Ever since Huaqing was starfallen by Guan, Huanyangzi forced a contract onto dear husband for the purpose of avenging her. Afterwards, Nyangzi learned that dear husband already has an elder sister he dearly loves. Huanyangzi's voice was tender. Every sentence, every word carried a loneliness that made his heart hurt, an unlimited melancholy. Nyangzi only feels that she has exploited dear husband quite despicably. Nyangzi does not have the face to see the other elder sisters, so at that time, Nyangzi has decided to leave dear husband after revenge has been achieved, to not compete against the elder sisters, to not star duel against the little sisters. So that night when I was drunk, when I treated you as Ying, you didn't resist because you wanted to lose the star nest for your starfall? Yes. Huanyangzi opened her eyes. Her pupils were limpid, and she soft, yes, hiding grief. Yes, my ass. Su Xing glared at her, lowering his voice and rebuking her, you're too foolish. How could you think to do such a folly? Could it be you absolutely want dear husband to say, how can I live if you die, before you're satisfied? Dear husband, Huanyangzi muttered. You, Yingmei, Xinjie, Xiao, Yuaner, Suan, Little Huang, Little Yi, Tang Tang, Lianxin, and the other girls. You, all of you, every single one of you is a treasure in dear husband's palm. Even when some bullshit mountain becomes a plain, when heaven and earth merge, dear husband will never leave any of you. Seeing Huanyangzi's distress, Su Xing was even more hurt. He reached out and wiped away the tears in Nyangzi's eyes. Nyangzi knows, the moment Nyangzi saw dear husband risk his life to protect her, Nyangzi truly wanted to say, dear husband is so foolish. Huanyangzi said softly, her arms wrapping around Su Xing's neck, bringing Su Xing's head towards her chest. But Nyangzi truly loved that so much. Her feelings burst out, surging out like a tide. With no need for any more words, all of her sadness, loneliness, and loss were concentrated at this moment into a total outburst. The two of them embraced and kissed, deep and intimate. Although she had already been this intimate with Su Xing once before, that time, Su Xing was in the middle of a hangover, dizzy, treating her as Lin Yingmei in a state far from as lucid as he was now. How could Hunyangzi endure such a provocation? She only felt a burst of dizziness, allowing Su Xing's lips to plant on top of her cherry-red lips. The girl opened her mouth and sucked in his tongue, extended her snow-white arms to hold his neck. Su Xing also drew the young girl's glossy lotus tongue in. The blue underwear was gently undone. The smoke-like skirt was peeled off. Maiden Mountain's most beautiful star general was bashful tonight, presenting her most beautiful aspects for the one she called dear husband. She wore white silk beautiful stockings that had yet to be pulled down. That shallow valley trickled with a stream. Hunyangzi gently moaned. Her hands wrapped around Su Xing's neck, and her jade legs clamped around Su Xing's waist. Her body stuck to his. White shoots gently rocked, and a red plum pierced her heart. Wife? Su Xing could not endure. He let out a moan, his last question. Hu Sanyang was shy against his chest. Her secret valley opened, and her legs wrapped even tighter. Su Xing kneaded Hunyangzi's lower lips. He straightened his body and entered her tight walls making the both of them unable to help but moan. He ultimately reached her deepest softness without stopping, and she gently moaned in urgency. Hunyangzi's whole body was even more stiff. Their bodies practically were fused together. Hunyangzi began to shake her waist, bearing Su Xing's attack. She looked upwards, her bewitched eyes looking at the half-moon and starlight beyond the window, as if crying or sobbing about her hidden feelings. Su Xing let out tender gasps. His hands forcefully grabbed her breasts, squeezing Hunyangzi, launching an oppressive offensive. Her melancholy began to change. A flood spilled into her deep valley. The moonlight outside was embarrassed and covered by the passing clouds. A poem once said, "Beautiful jade bone, faintly ladylike, draws half an erotic sight, as if seeing something slightly shy. Infatuation washes over the soul, continuous feelings are eager, petals freely dance sadly, the knots of her skirt join for her lord's gentle shot." 5. Several times afterwards, Hunyangzi already switched positions and was straddling Su Xing's body. Her body laid resting atop his chest, quietly enjoying this passion. Su Xing's arms linked around her supple waist. His hands grabbed the front of her underbelly, and he rested his chin on her shoulder. He narrowed his eyes as he quietly savored the taste after their passion. The girl's body had the subtle scent of that midnight fragrance. He felt every inch of softness on the girl's whole body. Every woman loved to be embraced tightly by her partner after climax, to feel this true bliss. What was the song dear husband sang just now? Is there another stanza that you did not sing? Hunyangzi peacefully asked. Do you want to hear the next part? N. Su Xing sang softly into her ear, maybe I was too late to say goodbye that day. I secretly folded the family book, instantly remembering my lovely hometown. So fond was I of that new moon, at this moment, how fine the world is. Longing accompanies me on the eve of the fierce battle, I use my life to decipher war and peace. My rifle pushes through a chest full of blood. A decorated boat floated on the river with a swaying lantern. On the sea outside of Devil Star City, a remote and fragrant pleasure boat floated on the ocean. The maids on the boat were like clouds, their hands holding swords, their clothes fluttering about. Standing against the wind, they made all cultivators who looked turn dumbstruck, however, not one of these devil cults or devil sects dared to be impudent. The boat had a banner upon which was written the two words, Great Circle. A cultivator with only even the slightest amount of experience knew who the master of this boat was, the master of the Great Circle Castle, Noble Star Little Whirlwind Chai Jin. The star general who inherited 9 generations of noble star wealth and power possessed influence and riches that Liangshan continent sects would all drool over. However, the Great Circle Castle was hidden in a secret place. Up until now, no one was able to guess just how many cultivators stood watch over it. Chai Ling, just how many cultivators does the Great Circle Castle have? Inside the boat, There were beautiful decorations, scarlet rugs, furniture of every kind, all made from superior mahogany, sandalwood, and eaglewood. There was the faint and pleasant smell of wood permeating the entire boat. The four walls hung several ink paintings of landscapes, with grandeur and majesty, with elegance and brilliance. The image stood out on the paper, and a glance showed each of these originated from the hand of a renowned artist, their values priceless. Jinji and Yuya stood nearby. They steeped Cloud and Mountain White Robe, Creek Well Dragon Eye, and Phoenix Fermiana Bay Leaf Teas, 3 of Liangshan's supreme grade tea leaves. Each leaf was worth 1,000 gold. The entire interior of the boat was full of the tea's fragrance. Su Xing sighed that the wealth of Chai Ling's Great Circle Castle could reach heaven, and he was unable to help but be curious how great the influence of the Great Circle Castle was. Other than the state of the Great Circle Castle, this palace does not know. Elder sister does not know. The Huaqing sitting nearby was skeptical. The Great Circle Castle has 108 leaders under its banner. This palace has no interest at all and does not pay attention. Chai Ling lay atop her sofa, charmingly rolling out her arm. The curves of those smooth and round peaks were highlighted under her milk-white bodice. The three-eyed wealth-inviting beast mewed atop her bosom. This generation's noble star Chai Ling had a lack of interest in managing operations. She treated wealth as nothing more than a number. To little whirlwind Chai Ling, this was honestly very tedious, thus she did not exhaust energy wishing to participate in the star duel. To become the first noble star to scale Maiden Mountain was interesting enough. The queen gave Su Xing a lovely glance. Why would you care about this palace's influence? I'm very curious as to how it's lasted for 1,000 years. Su Xing smiled. Xinger's question makes this palace feel very curious. Chai Ling gently fanned her golden thread feather fan. Her snow-white legs poked out from within her skirt. That was enticing. Su Xing recalled Huaqing's jade legs from last night. His heart somewhat stirred, and he continuously drank a mouthful of the Cloud and Mountain White Robe to calm his mood. This Cloud and Mountain White Robe had a mind-calming and a chi-nurturing effect. As far as cultivators were concerned, this was a great supplement. Chai Ling's fan covered her red lips. Last night, Jin'er certainly was truly romantic. Cough, do you like to eavesdrop? Su Xing was speechless. A coincidence. Last night, Chai Ling heard Su Xing's song and felt very refreshed and specially want to listen to more, but when she walked to his door, she contrarily heard the mellow intercourse of a man and woman. At that time, Chai Ling was thoroughly red and embarrassed. What a pity Su Xing did not see her spiteful appearance. This palace wonders how many of the sisters have given their virginities to Su Xing. Chai Ling stroked the cat in her bosom. Her words made Jinji and Yuya unable to help but stare at Su Xing in shock. Su Xing dryly laughed, only sipped his tea. Chai Ling's charming gaze carried a smile, as if she was saying, you honestly were pretending to be pure to this palace's face. Suddenly, the boat gently rocked a moment later. Su Xing set down his cup. Even if he did not see, he could sense that someone had boarded, and this person's leg strength was powerful, for a light step to rock the boat. A beautiful figure whose whole body was obscured with a cloak walked into the boat. Taking off her cloak, she was a dignified and mighty woman. Her stature was tall, and she brimmed with power. She was brave star Great Blade Guan Sheng. Upon seeing Guan Sheng, the hatred in Huaqing's eyes was full. Her hands clenched tightly, nearly pouncing. Su Xing tenderly held her hand. When Huaqing saw her dear husband's concern, she kept silent, her anger calming enormously. Guan glanced at Huaqing. She naturally had full view of her anger. The brave star was silent, and then she glanced at Su Xing, particularly at their holding hands. Then, she walked over and sat down on a mahogany chair. Elder sister Guan, are you well? Chai Ling lifted herself from laying on the sofa. The previous matter at Evil Smiting Hall, insignificant. This is very common in the star duels. Who let Guan also have her own contractor? Chai Ling was actually very open-minded. Guan was silent. This time, Guan had come alone, with Great Saint Starkiller nowhere in sight. You haven't recovered yet? Su Xing saw Guan show slight fatigue. It was no wonder. Although the Huaqing pool could extremely accelerate recovery, fighting 2 battles consecutively in such a short time, Guan Ying's recovery was difficult. That is not important. Can this devil star truly be broken? Guan cared about this. Ever since she learned from Su Xing that the power of the Crimson Star fell outside of the killer when the 9 Nether Devil Star stone weapon killed a sister, that a different kind of power did not fall into Maiden Mountain and instead became a Devil Star, Guan now felt disgust when saw her divine weapon that had once shook the world. The Brave Star already was impatient to get rid of the Devil Star. It can. The Black Turtle Territory's endless depths has an island named 9 Hells. That place can dispel the Devil Star. Chai Ling answered. Endless depths, 9 hells. Guan nodded. The endless depths was the Black Turtle Territory's most terrifying sea area. It passed through the 9 Dragon Sea, and the 9 hells was an even more dangerous place in the endless depths. That place purportedly had a bottomless trench. Legend said that this led directly into a Yin world known as 9 hells. Although it was not too likely it actually led to the Yin world, it was possible for the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone to be removed at the 9 Hells. Guan, have you considered this carefully? Chai Ling asked. Before completely recovering from inside the star nest, to go now to a place as dangerous as the 9 Hells, a starfall is possible. The Queen warned her. So long as we can return the sisters' souls to Maiden Mountain, even if this general must cross a mountain of daggers and a sea of fire, this general will not hesitate to jump in. Guan righteously said. Huaqing sneered. However, the 9 hells will take a long time to reach. What about Great Saint Starkiller? Su Xing asked her. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether has most recently been instructing Great Saint Starkiller in an ability. He is currently cultivating. This general has made it known she is recovering at the Huaqing pool and made other people unable to disturb. 4 or 5 days is not a problem. Guan had finished her considerations. After all, any way this was looked at, she had a hint of eloping with Su Xing behind her own Star Master's back. This made the uprighteous brave star somewhat awkward. Thus, she snuck out. Su Xing though, no wonder Guan had even concealed her appearance just now. This palace will take you to 9 Dragon Sea, but afterwards, this palace cannot participate in the star duels and will be unable to lend her strength. Chai Ling said. This general thanks you. No need to mind. Chai Ling smiled. Her queenly finger poked the 3-eyed wealth-inviting beast. Huaqing, if you want to kill this general for revenge right now, what complaints could this general have? Guan saw that deep hatred in Huaqing's eyes, aloof. How can Nyangzi and you be the same? Only after you return the sisters' souls to Maiden Mountain will this wife and you have a star duel, to settle life and death. Huaqing's tone was resolute. Fine. Guan was stern. How is White Stripe in the waves now? Guan asked. Her elder sister is looking after her. She'll be better in a few these days. Su Xing calmly answered. Guan nodded. Knowing the situation about her own status was awkward, she said nothing more. Valley of Empress Hua. Wu Xiao, and Suan, and Yan appearance in the valley made the 1,000 cultivators of the 10 great sects astonished. Particularly when she saw Harm Star Pilgrim Wusong, Nangongxing was even more unable to restrain her anger. Without another word, she let loose her flying swords. Wu Xiao elegantly stepped forward, her figure weaving her way through, shaking apart the flying swords. Instantly she arrived next to Nangongxing. The noble frost demonic lotus swords light flit by. Nangongxing continually retreated, only finding a chance to breathe after tossing a magic weapon. The Most High Path's other disciples attempted to provide support, but they were easily broken into disarray by Yan boxing. Even if some flying swords and magic weapons could luckily pass through, they could not escape the jaws of Ensuan's green hurricane. When Nangong Xing saw her side was completely not an opponent, she was immediately unsightly. Although she had super void cultivation, she did not have the confidence to contend against the 4-star Wuxiao, let alone there were unexpectedly 2 great heavenly stars. Fellows, what are you still waiting for? This Yan Qing and Endao are perhaps the Purple Thunder Monster's star generals. Nangong Xing shouted. The other sect's ancestral masters continually had spectating appearances. No one moved a finger. After all, Wusong and the Most High Path had the greatest enmity. That they themselves offended the Harm Star honestly was not too smart. No one was stupid enough to go do anything to a 4-star Wusong. On the contrary, they watched Nangong Xing and Wusong battle, their hearts watching her fire burn from across the river. They were eager for Nangong Xing to die in the process against a star general, becoming more and more excited. By the time next year's Alliance of 10 conference convened, they could pull the Most High Path down from its high horse. Ancestor Longevity, Xianjinzi, Lady Ice, Fire Dragon Boy, Nangong Xing said each of the ancestors' names, her tone even colder. It appeared she was preparing to threaten them. Your sects all have star masters. If you wish to seize the key moment in the star duels, is it fine to let them go like this? The ancestors of the 10 great sects looked at each other. These words attacked their weak spot directly. Golden light fell. A Qilin appeared in the middle of everyone, and a powerful force made all the cultivators change expressions at seeing this Qilin. You star masters wish to work together to bully Shower's little sisters. Shower will play with you. Strength Star Jade Qilin Lu Xiao brandished her golden Qilin lance, slightly blinking, pointing directly at Nangong Xing, Lu Junyi. Nangong Xing gnashed her teeth. You also wish to interfere with my sect's personal grudge. Shower does not care for your grudge, but if you want to bully Shower's Maiden Mountain sisters, then you will have to pass through Shower first. Shower's figure moved. The Qilin radiated golden light. What a Maiden Mountain sister, truly not placing us in her eyes. Nangong Xing grinned evilly. Fairy Nangong, it is better to leave things be. The Purple Thunder Monster is not present this time. Do not involve third parties in settling your personal disputes. Why not wait for the Purple Thunder Monster until then? Ancestor Longevity advised. Very much so. Xian Jinzi and the others echoed. Nangong Xing knew that relying on these trash supercluster cultivators to face 3 great heavenly stars was completely a dream. With Lu Junyi's meddling, the original 50-50 situation was gone, and Nangong Xing had no chance of victory. Wusong, tell that Purple Thunder Monster, the 10 great sects will never let him go. Nangong Xing left merciless words and immediately escaped. The Most High Path's people immediately followed. The other sect ancestors smiled in embarrassment and promptly left as well. Facing these scattering cultivators, Wuxiao and the others were in total lack of interest to pursue. Su Xing's troubles truly are big. Lu Xiao laughed. Not worth a mention. Wuxiao pursed her lips, an ice-cold reply. Guaning has disappeared. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether said in a low voice. This information reached Great Saint Starkler's ears from Ming Dai's mouth. Even he was dumbstruck. Yes, Devil Ancestor, Ming Dai sought Guaning for inquiry. When Ming Dai noticed she did not answer for a while, Ming Dai went to look, only to discover Guaning had already disappeared. But it appears there are no traces of fighting. She seems to have run away. Ming Dai respectfully replied. Why would Inga run away? Great Saint Starkler's face was unsightly. Her injuries should not have recovered yet. You ought to answer this. Ming Dai sneered. Ming Dai, you and the others immediately go find Guaning, this one fears she has gone to the 9 hells. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether spoke. 9 hells, the brave star looks to be thinking of destroying the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. Great Saint Starkiller, you go as well. You should properly discipline her. Devil Ancestor Dark Nether calmly spoke. Any success requires a price. This ancestor does not hope to see Guan not bear even this little bit. His words were very indifferent, but Great Saint Starkiller nevertheless sensed a blade at his back, as if he could go to hell should he utter the word, no. Disciple obeys. Great Saint Starkiller assented. To think of going to the endless pool to destroy the Devil's Stone before she even completely recovered from the star nest, she honestly is outrageous. Ming Dai smiled. Several days afterwards. At the center of the Nine Dragons Sea, rising Dragon City Market Square, a boiling cauldron of voices. Outside the market square, a blood-sweat silver-hair horse attracted the continuous gazes of cultivators. Two women rode together on the horse. One was wrapped in a cloak, obscuring her appearance and figure, but her eyes were full of might. Her whole body emitted an extraordinarily menacing chi, making people cower. The other woman appeared much more easygoing. She wore an ocean blue underwear-style shirt and skirt. Her ribbons fluttered about, and the girl's expression was clear and brilliant yet hid a deep sadness. She made people unable to help but feel pity for her when they saw this, but the surplus of sadness in the young girl's eyes similarly carried a spirit of dignity. Although Rising Dragon City was not large, two beautiful women appearing still attracted the astonishment of cultivators and passers-by. Seeing their seemingly idle appearance, among them that water-blue woman's eyes that still carried a hint of expectation, as if she was waiting for someone, some cultivators could not help but be somewhat envious of whoever had such great fortune to be able to obtain the affections of these two gorgeous beauties. Not long after, the answer was made clear. A youth walked over, and the girl dressed in revealing clothes immediately moved over. Clearly, she was waiting for this person. This youth was considered attractive, particularly his supercluster middle-stage cultivation that made these envious cultivators only able to be speechless, to retreat a bit. "Dear husband, have you found it?" The water-blue woman asked, without a doubt. This man and two women were Su Xing, Huaqing, and Guan. Chai Ling took them to the vicinity of the Nine Dragons Sea. Due to the Black Turtle Territory sea area being too large, Su Xing could not clearly grasp the location of the Endless Pool. Su Xing took the time to search for the way to the Endless Pool while they were at Drawing Crane City. And it will probably take a few more days. Su Xing counted on his fingers. In this case, the limit he had of more than a month with Lin Yingmei and the others was just about over. At that time, settling Guan Ying's 5-star devil weapon would be just in time to gather for the Bright Moon Longevity Palace. Then we must go quickly. Guan Ying urged. The longer they delayed things, the less successful they would be. Right now, it was possible that the Devil Star Palace had already discovered her absence. If Great Saint Starkiller caught up to them and used the contractor's ability of command enforcement, so long as the command did not go against the Star Maiden's interests, Guan Ying could not refuse such a command. If Great Saint Starkiller actually catches up, what do we do if he objects to your destroying it? Su Xing asked her. After that, you will always obey that man's orders to kill us sisters to amplify your power. Huaqing sneered. Guan Ying did not wish to discuss this matter, merely staying silent. Huaqing was quite hateful, really wishing to slay this weak brave star Great Blade at this moment. However, recalling the devil weapon, she still restrained herself. Wife, your star weapon already has 4-star. Su Xing asked Huaqing. Yes. Along the way, they passed market after market. Earthly Star's upgrade to 4-star required only 16 pieces of precious stones or very easy-to-find materials. This place just so happens to have a trade fair. It won't take too long to go take a look. Su Xing said. Because he remembered that the time for Maiden Mountain's trials was impending, and without any more time left to go find high-quality materials to advance star weapons, Su Xing thus would first go take a look whether or not there were star weapon upgrade materials as they passed through these island markets of the Black Turtle Territory. Huaqing's 4-star Golden Wind and Morning Dew thus was upgraded over these few days. Although Guan Ying was urgent, she had no reason to oppose. As the Nine Dragons Sea's largest island market, the place the Nine Dragons Palace was located at, the extremely large Rising Dragon City was the largest trade center in the Nine Dragons Sea, and perhaps in all the Black Turtle Territory. The market was very large, both sides were filled with halls and buildings, row upon row as far as the eye could see. Ever since they came to the Nine Dragon Sea, the Black Turtle Sea's great sects and even the Azure Dragon territory and Vermilion Bird territory were rather upstaged. Perhaps in terms of scale and the rarity of the treasures, it could not compare to the Crystal Dragon Palace, but everywhere in the Nine Dragon Sea, at a place with naturally occurring spirit stones and/or mines like the Endless Pool, even those with influence like the Crystal Dragon Palace would be slightly inferior. Huaqing's 5-star Golden Wind and Morning Dew upgrade required 32 pieces of suitable water-type Spirit Jade and 160 liang for Spirit Sand supplements. As he kept upgrade materials in mind, Su Xing did not waste any time. He slowly wandered, his gaze sweeping non-stop from side to side. As expected of the center of the Nine Dragon Sea, it was clearly different from those markets from before at Devil Star City. The market's sides were practically all those highly detailed, 4 or 5-story high pavilions, as if each one was financially robust, successful business. Su Xing honestly saw some of the names of the buildings in other market squares. Since they came to Rising Dragon City with difficulty, Su Xing naturally would not miss this chance. Not only Huaqing's materials, but he would also find Lin Yingmei and the others' materials as well. At the same time, he could refine the materials for his flying swords. If he calculated carefully, the expenditures were really extravagant. Even if at the 4th phase Chai Ling used her Help the Needy for Justice innate skill to loan him 100 billion liang of gold, Su Xing still felt poor. Since this was so, he did not make any careful differentiation. Su Xing put all of the ores and spirit sands he wanted onto a list. At once, he inquired from store to store. Some, Heavenly Yang Earthly Yin Quintessence, 8 Horns Spirit Sand, 2, Heavenly Hook Soul Stone, 3, Returning Spirit Treasure Jade, and more. Seeing the names of the dazzling ores, even Guan was dizzy. This man honestly was very ostentatious. However, things for star weapon upgrade naturally each were extremely precious. How could these be so easy to find? To take them, perhaps the master of the Nine Dragons Palace Shi Jingluan had already taken them. Contrarily, some of the materials to refine the earth element swords were collected in generous amounts. Su Xing was not impatient at all. Originally, he had no hopes to easily find the materials he needed in the market square. Two girls followed close behind. Stopping and going like this, they already crossed more than half of the market square. When Su Xing reached the front of a 3-story high building, his eyes could not help but slightly squint. This building clearly was much bigger than the store at the front, and the cultivators entering and leaving were many. Their cultivations were Galaxy late stage and higher. It appeared this store was actually very well known. Looking at it, the building's main gate hung a sign, and written on it were 3 huge golden characters, Hidden Jade Pavilion. 5. In his heart, he could not help but be happy. Could it be that this Hidden Jade Pavilion was specialized in selling spirit jade? Having passed so many markets, walked by so many shops, it was rare to see this sort of store specialized in spirit jade. Su Xing did not hesitate at all to lift his legs and step in. The building's floor space was large, length and width both around 30 or 40 zhang. There were 6 pretty Galaxy stage assistants currently helping some customers inside the store, pointing to a few things all around the shelves, giving detailed introductions. Seeing a shelf of those rows of blinding spirit jade that practically dazzled the eyes, every piece of spirit jade was processed by a jade refinement master, the purity astonishing. Just when Su Xing walked in, a clerk with a full smile moved towards him, wishing to greet him. "Step back, leave it to me to greet this fellow." Sitting on a chair in a corner of the store, a white-robed man currently leisurely sipping tea, clearly proficient in discerning the abilities of cultivation. With a glance, after he saw Su Xing's cultivation had surprisingly reached Galaxy middle stage. 6. Of course, just this did not mean much, but behind him were 2 women with cultivations too deep to measure. Having seen people around the Hidden Jade Pavilion for so long, how could this middle-aged man not know what the background of the person before him was? Setting down his cup of tea with an astonished look, he hastily blurted out and stopped the servant. Then, he arranged his clothes, rushed over a few steps to salute Su Xing, respectfully saying, "Fellow, to be able to come to our hidden jade pavilion, it truly is this pavilion's honor. This floor naturally will not have the things senior wants. How about senior follows junior to the third floor for a finer discussion?" "Sure, it looks like I really came to the right place." Su Xing's gaze flashed times. He smiled. This person probably knew he had come for Star General's star weapon upgrade materials. Under the white-robed man's direction, they calmly went upstairs. The first floor's cultivators that had been buying things, when they saw this situation, naturally knew that Su Xing was a supercluster-level cultivator, and that he was a star master. Immediately, they were in a ruckus. He is surprisingly a supercluster-level star master. This is the first time I have ever seen one. He looks so young. No wonder those two women behind him are so beautiful. They appear to be star generals, too, surprisingly. Could he be Holy Lord of Draconic Demon or Great Saint Starkiller? A succession of amazed gasps and awed address directly sounded out. The hidden jade pavilion's third floor was not large, but it was somewhat arranged uniquely elegant. Additionally, there were another two good-looking female cultivators. Upon seeing the middle-aged man bring customers, they immediately steeped a pot of fine tea. "Please, drink first. This is Jing Radish Springtime Tea, 7, that this pavilion spent much money to purchase. It has a flavor like no other." The middle-aged man waited for Su Xing to sit down, then he immediately smiled and made introductions. Su Xing took a sip. Having tasted Chai Ling's cloud and mountain white robe, this Jing Radish Springtime Tea's current flavor was insipid, intolerably vulgar. "Your servant wonders what good spirit jades the hidden jade pavilion has? Let us look at this first. Your servant has matters to attend to and does not have much time to delay," Su Xing said, an indolent tone, the implication being that he did not have high hopes for the hidden jade pavilion. "Then that will depend on fellow's sincerity." Making his own request known, upon hearing Su Xing's number of spirit jade, the white-robed man was also dumbstruck. The materials within included metal, wood, water, fire and earth, every one of the 5 elements. They had top-notch treasures, but how were only 1 or 2 of these for Star General's use? Clearly, 7 or 8 was enough, but the man was made dizzy, somewhat skeptical as this youth wanted to seize a monopoly on these precious materials. Thinking of this, he actually felt relieved. Other star masters monopolizing this level of material was not unheard of. Fellow's materials are indeed rare. This pavilion cannot do anything. The man wiped his sweat. "Is there nothing?" Su Xing shook his head, disappointed. "This actually is not the case. Fellow required 32 water-type spirit stone. This pavilion just so happens to have many," the man promptly said. "Really?" When Su Xing heard this, he was slightly interested. It was perfect for making Huaqing's 5-star weapon upgrade. "It is more expensive. This pavilion wonders if fellow can take a few things out to exchange." The man smiled. "What spirit jade?" Huaqing asked him. "Jiangnan water smoke jade." Her older sister, younger sister, and mother all were in the car, which made me embarrassed and at a complete loss. More about my blind date. She really is a pretty girl, the strong girl type that I like. Her figure is good, and she works out of country, a parallel line that doesn't intersect with a shut-in like me. What a pity. 2. Right arrow curving left 3. Right arrow curving left 4. Right arrow curving left 5. Right arrow curving left 6. He means galaxy middle or above, I guess. Right arrow curving left 7. Right arrow curving left 8. Jiangnan water smoke jade. This certainly was a good thing, simply perfect for advancing Huaqing's golden wind and morning dew double sabers to 5-star. "Name your price," Su Xing said. "About the price, this pavilion has 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade. Fellow should know the price of these. 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade at the very least could allow a star general, regardless of whether they were a heavenly star or an earthly star, upgrade their star weapon to terrifying 5-star with room to spare. This simply was a priceless item. Seeing the white-robed man's face was shrewd, the hidden jade pavilion clearly was proficient in the business of spirit jade. They were not unfamiliar with giving star generals materials for star weapon upgrades. Su Xing feared that taking these 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade would be very costly. Su Xing remained aloof. Say how many liang of gold that would be converted to for now. Many high-grade and supreme-grade materials were very rarely exchanged for using gold by the majority of cultivators. Most bartered, item for item, however, converting to gold was also considered a value judgment on both sides. Jiangnan water smoke jade is produced from Jiangnan, where water smoke condenses into stone over 1,000 years. At the very end, a jade refinement master processes it into pure jade. Each piece is worth at least 30 billion gold. One piece was 30 billion, 50 pieces would be 1.5 trillion liang. This honestly was an astronomical number. Chai Ling's loan of 100 billion truly was not enough to fill the gaps between his teeth. However, if fellow has some precious spirit jade, spirit grasses, or the like to barter, those can do. The man smiled, warming his tone. Dear husband, Huaqing wrinkled her brows. This thing genuinely was too expensive. It would be better for them to go to Jiangnan and collect some themselves. Su Xing shook his head. Since they could advance Huaqing's star weapon to 5-star, Su Xing naturally would not waste any time going to some Jiangnan, let alone that they needed to help Guan go break the 5-star devil star. Afterwards, bright star Huaqing inevitably would battle to the death with Guan. Although he felt somewhat regretful, any way it was put, he stood firmly by his wife's side. Once her star weapon upgraded to 5-star, then she had a chance of victory over the 4-star Great Blade. Guan made no expression. She merely drank her tea, like a sculpture. Su Xing currently had a lot of assets. Besides more than 100 billion gold, he still had the life-extending flat peach, 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo, Gen Wu divine iron, and other supreme-grade precious materials, but using them was a bit regretful. Su Xing thought for a moment and took out some materials and magic weapons for this white-robed man to go look. How could he have anticipated that this man would nevertheless shake his head and smile after looking through them, not very content? He was still lacking. Does this place have any Jiangnan water smoke jade? We want some. Just at this moment, several women walked up to the 3rd floor and suddenly spoke. Su Xing and the others were startled, turning their heads to look. The newcomers were 4 youthful girls, their brows like paintings, their appearances elegant, about 15 or 16 in appearance. They were dressed considerably gracefully. 2 of the girls among them were especially special. One had short hair covering her ears, the arrangement distinct, and wore a blue and white sleeveless jacket embroidered with water flowers. Her chest revealed a deep valley, and she had shorts and long boots. The other wore a red palace dress, an especially attractive one among them. She had a low-cut shirt, 100-pleat short skirt, phoenix feather long boots and a morning phoenix wide sleeves. Her golden hair hung down in a ponytail. They entirely were stunning for all the world. When the 4 women saw Su Xing's group of 3, their gazes immediately lingered on Guan and Huaqing's bodies, each side showing scorching gazes towards the other, then returned to Su Xing, somewhat pensive. Fellows. The hidden jade pavilion's other female cultivators stepped forward. Hey, elder sister Chuha, those are Jiangnan water smoke jade. The girl wearing a red corset was delighted. She tugged on the blue palace dress of the girl about her age and directly walked over. These 50 pieces of Jiangnan water blue jade, we want them. The girl did not even look at Su Xing, immediately speaking. Everything is first come, first served. Su Xing knitted his brow. Did you not buy it yet? This red palace dress girl twitched her lips, not giving a damn about Su Xing, who says, this shopkeeper and I have already discussed the price. Su Xing threw another strip to the middle-aged man. You can only count that as purchased just now. Do you take us to be blind? That red low-cut shirt girl said. First come, first served, but you must choose whoever can produce an even higher price. The watercolored garment woman slanted her head and thought aloud, actually informing Su Xing that merchants only thought of benefits, not order of arrival. That girl named Chuha nodded, very calmly saying, 50 pieces of Jiangnan water smoke jade, we can hand over 5 stalks of 1,000-year spirit dragon grass, 50 billion of gold, 2 high-grade magic weapon, and an ancient lost treasure. This honestly was rich and imposing. The items she offered indeed were much better than Su Xing's. The white-robed man clearly was interested, but he was deeply versed in the ways of business, nevertheless showing nothing on his face, but feigning a conflicted appearance. This fellow is indeed first. Although his things are not comparable to you ladies, the hidden jade pavilion keeps its word. How can we go back on our word over this little thing? The implication was that if you can show something better, I will consider it. Are you still unsatisfied, you dishonest shark? Careful that we rob your store, make you suffer a loss. The red corset girl put her hands on her hops, furiously saying, we are but the Azure Dragon Territory's Sikong, too, family. To surprisingly extort us, the Ice and Fire twin sisters, truly you do not wish to live. This is the Black Turtle Territory. The white-robed man appeared amiable, let alone that the hidden Jade Palace is under the 9 Dragons Palace. If you too feel cheated, then try it. You, Dongyo, 1. Do not cause trouble. Sikong Chuha's delicate hand stopped her little sister's screaming. Our things have but many values. That 1,000-year spirit dragon grass can be exchanged. One ought to be reluctant to exchange it. Dongyo looked at her indignantly. The golden ponytail girl to the side was about to make a move, her character an exceptional sort of irritable. Your distinguished self has also said business pays particular attention to sincerity. To so baselessly increase the price will harm the 9 Dragons Palace's reputation. Sikong Chuha slightly smiled. Compared to her little sister's impetuous behavior, she was considerably courteous. This pavilion does not hide anything. Fellows, what will you use the Jiangnan water smoke jade for? Comparing you and I, we are in understanding. If it was not for Queen Jingluan's orders, the hidden jade pavilion would not dare take this out for an exchange. In fact, the things you two took out are very good, but nevertheless useless. These things are indeed precious, yet really not difficult to obtain. However, we sisters wanted to save some trouble. How about this, your servant shall add a stalk of 800-year spirit grass. Sikong Chuha warmly smiled. The white-robed man hesitated. Jiangnan water smoke jade was useful for star weapon upgrades. If they actually did not barter, then honestly no one would want it. Otherwise, he would not have so fervently invited Su Xing and the others to the 3rd floor. Star General's materials could be sold only once every 100 years. The man looked at Su Xing. Does this fellow still want them? Ever since these 4 graceful girls came up, Su Xing continuously did not utter a sound, but he surreptitiously sized them up. If he did not guess wrongly, at least 2 of these 4 girls should be star generals. The Ice and Fire twin sisters. It seems that Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dongyo should be the star masters. Su Xing was inwardly worried. The 2 girls were supercluster early-stage cultivation. With only a bit of force, they could keep up with the pace of a star master at present. Seeing their extravagance just now, and invoking the name of the Sikong family, it seemed their background was solid. Were these 2 sisters star masters? Hey! Guan glanced at Su Xing, reminding him. Oh, your servant naturally wants these Jiangnan water smoke jade. Since he could not do something like robbery, Su Xing naturally wanted to obtain it with a clear conscience. Thus, he remained with no shame to Huaqing. That, the white-robed man smiled. However, to use the 10,000-year evil-suppressing gem bamboo as an exchange honestly was a bit of a loss. Su Xing suddenly remembered that he had just mentioned the 9 Dragons Palace's Queen Jingluan. His mind moved. If he did not misremember, Minute Star 9 Tattooed Dragon Shi Jingluan's upgrade to 5-star weapon was still missing a few of the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls that he stole. Since she was taking great pains to take Star General's star weapon upgrade materials for trade, clearly she urgently needed the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. Hey, are you going to buy them or not? If you aren't, just say so, don't pretend like you're rich. Sikong Dangnyo impatiently urged. It is not your turn to yell at dear husband. Hun Yangzi's tone showed a bit of ice cold. What does it matter if she yells? The golden ponytailed girl retorted, unconvinced. Killing intent manifested. Amiability makes you rich. This store certainly cannot bear your argument. The white-robed man wiped his sweat. Qingming. 3, the blue-clothed woman said warmly. The girl known as Qingming pursed her lips. You said what Queen Jingluan wanted just now, is that right? Su Xing asked the white-robed man. Precisely. The hidden jade pavilion belongs to the 9 Dragons Palace. If you can take out what the queen wants, that would be better. The white-robed man slightly smiled, feeling some promise. Then Queen Jingluan perhaps can use 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls that your servant once obtained. Su Xing smiled, flipping out the 3 yellow dragon pearls. Huh? The girls were shocked. The white-robed man's eyes flashed a peculiar glint. His whole body involuntarily trembled. Although it was fleeting, it did not escape Su Xing's eyes. If this was the case, Shi Jingluan's upgrade to a 5-star destined weapon was missing these 3. Perhaps she would come for these. Originally, Shi Jingluan was considered a foe. Regardless, if he could delay with 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, then he would delay. He could not allow Shi Jingluan to reach 5 stars so quickly. But now that he had to trade for these 50 Jiangnan water smoke jades, 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls were a perfect fit, let alone that even if he did not trade, Shi Jingluan should be able to trade for them sooner or later. At that time, his own 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls would become trash. Furthermore, what did he have to fear allowing Shi Jingluan to upgrade to 5-star? If they actually star-dueled each other in the future, Su Xing would not fear her. After pondering for a while, this was precisely the opportunity bestowed by the heavens to take out these 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. Only these 3. Although they are lacking, this store pays particular attention to the word trust. Since the first fellow has raised the prospect of business, adding on these 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, the 50 Jiangnan water smoke jade are yours. The white-robed man said frankly. You've got it all wrong. Your servant only took these 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls to trade for the 50 water smoke jades. Su Xing put the pearls away, smiling slightly. 5, what? The white-robed man was taken aback, somewhat unsightly. Fellow is unavoidably speaking nonsense. It is difficult for 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls to be traded for 10 water smoke jades, yet you unexpectedly want to trade for 50? How about this then? Since fellow has only 3, this store shall trade 8 pieces of water smoke jade, how about that? 3 for 50. Su Xing was in no hurry. You are being too steep, are you extorting this store? The man coldly said. Everyone else was astonished, Su Xing's request indeed was somewhat outrageous. Wait a moment, since he is so confident, could it be? Sikong Chuha's eyes shifted. She suddenly thought of something. If you wish to trade, then this is a deal. Extortion is rather strange. Your servant is only fond of these pearls and is reluctant to part. Su Xing said. I will have to consult on this. The white-robed man furrowed his brow. Su Xing agreed. The white-robed man then allowed the maids to entertain Su Xing's group. He himself left first. Sikong Chuha and Sikong Dangnyo looked at Su Xing. Sikong Dangnyo said discontentedly, Are you actually going to compete with us? The Sikong sisters were twins, but their temperaments were completely opposite. The elder sister was of courteous temperament while the younger sister was shrewish some. Su Xing did not respond at all. Sikong Dangnyo fumed. Don't think that 39 songs yellow dragon pearls can be traded for 50 water smoke jades, you can't do it. Whatever, if I can't trade then I'll leave them to you. Su Xing smiled. Since Shi Jingluan needed the 9 songs yellow dragon pearls, this opportunity definitely would not be missed. However, he had taken 5 from her last time. So as to avoid allowing Shi Jingluan to advance to 5 stars so quickly, he only took out 3. A moment later, the white-robed man walked out. He looked at Su Xing with an expression that was indefinitely hesitant. Shi Jingluan's 5-star destined weapon happened to require 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. These 3 were necessary, but 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls for 50 Jiangnan water smoke jade really was a big loss. This pavilion is willing to use 30 Jiangnan water smoke jades to trade for fellows 3 9 songs yellow dragon pearls. We cannot go any higher. If this will not do, this store can only give up. The white-robed man wrinkled his brow, stating his bottom line. These 30 water smoke jades were something decided on by the hidden jade pavilion after much deliberation. Even if an earthly star was to upgrade to 5-star, they would need 32 pieces. Missing 2 could delay them a bit. This was within Su Xing's calculations. He originally did not have plans to exchange for 50. The reason why he said as much was not at all to depress prices. 1 9 songs yellow dragon pearl actually could be exchanged for 10 water smoke jades. Feigning a pained expression, Su Xing thought for a while. Then, he traded for the 30 water smoke jades. This angered Sikong Dangnyo to no end. This man, we will make you regret taking our things. After they left the hidden jade pavilion, Guan said, 5-star destined weapon, you are still missing 2 liang. We'll just have to look again. Nyangzi has troubled dear husband. Hu Nyangzi was silent. This is by rights. Su Xing warmly said. Then, they circled around the market and used one of the remaining 9 song yellow dragon pearls and 10 billion gold to trade for 2 pieces and other spirit sands. By doing so, Hu Nyangzi's 5-star golden wind morning dew double sabers were completely settled. Now, it was up to Hu Nyangzi to upgrade the star weapons. Are we going to upgrade the star weapon now? Guan wrinkled her brow, as if she was a bit unhappy with this delay. We'll wait until we settle some troubles. Su Xing glanced behind him. The 2 girls looked over and noticed that the silhouettes of those twins had appeared behind them. Guan was expressionless. Su Xing's party immediately departed Rising Dragon City. Their escape light flew several hundred li, then descended to a nearby remote island. How much longer will you tail us? Su Xing turned his head back, calmly asking. 2 escape lights of water and fire simultaneously arrived. They split left and right to surround Su Xing. The light receded, revealing 4 beautiful young girls. They were exactly the Sikong sisters and their star generals. Their star generals mounted 2 fantastic horses. One was transparent as water, and the other stood upon flames. We'll give you 1 chance. Hand the Jiangnan water smoke jade over. Sikong Dangnyo shouted. A robbery like this isn't something a lady should do. Su Xing smiled and teased. Less babble. Sikong Dangnyo was annoyed. If you're scared, just bring out the Jiangnan water smoke jade. Me and elder sister will let you go. Really? Su Xing glanced at Sikong Chuha. The latter appeared even more calm, her luminous eyes clearly concentrating, gazing at Su Xing. She softly said, Your distinguished self is a star master. We sisters merely wish to have a star duel with your distinguished self. Su Xing nodded. He could not be fussy with these words. Then star duel it is. Su Xing's wrist flipped, and the birth treasure outline appeared, but before the treasure outline had even opened, the 4 girls were shocked. Then, flying swords flew down. Mengner. Ranxin. 2. The two women riding the divine steeds of ice and fire heard the Sikong sisters' words. Without saying anything, divine weapons appeared in their hands. One was an entirely translucent and sparkling body, a curling water dragon. The other was a curved moon saber, burning with fire, bright as red clouds. One glimmered with 4 stars, and the other flowed with 5 stars. Heaven tearing appeared to block the flying swords, and the birth treasure outline immediately flourished its golden light. Star position, unique star, 3, star name, Shan Tingui nickname, General of Sacred Water, 5, true name, Shan Menger, 6, rank, 44th star weapon, Flying Shower Falling Star Spear, 7, 4 star, Star Beast, Heavenly River Diving Steed, 8, realm, matchless second stage innate skill, Water Creation, 9, 5 elements, Water Yellow rank special move, Horse Stamping Flying Wave Approach, 10, Dark rank special move, Time Flows Like Water, 11, current status, Contractor, Sikong Chuha, 12. Detailed materials. Star position, Fierce Star, 13, star name, Wei Dinghua, 14, nickname, General of Holy Fire true name, Wei Ranxin, 16, rank, 45th star weapon, Phoenix Reincarnation Saber, 17, 5 star, Star Beast, Heavenly Flame Divine Steed, 18, realm, matchless first stage innate skill, Fire Creation, 19, 5 elements, Fire Yellow rank special move, Flame Slash, 20, Dark rank special move, Burning Heartbreak, 21, current status, Contractor, Sikong Dangnyo, 22, detailed materials. As expected, these twin sisters calling themselves the Fire and Ice Sisters and Star Masters had a pair of famous fire and ice generals. However, he had originally thought that the Qingming Hichu he heard was called the Qingming Shanghe too. 23, it seemed only that Chuha was speaking of Dangnyo's vicious taste. The true name of the General of Sacred Water was Shan Menger, and the General of Holy Fire was called Wei Ranxin. It was no wonder, for how could 2 star maidens without sisters be called a name like Qingming Hichu? The birth treasure outline. The 2 girls were astonished. They immediately quickly executed hand seals, and 2 ice and fire magic weapons smashed towards Su Xing from the front and back. Since this is the case, Su Xing had nothing to say. Heaven tearing became a golden rainbow that warded off the attacks. At the same time, Purple Mansion Immortal Thunder attacked the 2 girls as purple thunder wrapping heaven. At this time, General of Sacred Water Shan Menger raised the Flying Shower Falling Star Spear. A wave of water suddenly appeared. This was precisely Shan Meng using her innate skill to create the wave of water from nothing. Then, she pointed her spear, and an ocean spray turned into a sword that shot towards him. Flaming Break. Horse Stamping Flying Wave Approach. This General of Sacred Water and the General of Holy Fire had considerably tacit understanding and coordination. Without any words, they used several star magics from the very beginning, 1 dark move, 1 yellow move, activating them bluntly. A flood that filled the sky formed into 10,000 horses that galloped down. The General of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin slashed with her saber, and flames flowed from the blade as far as the eye could see. One side was fierce heavenly fire, and the other was surging seawater, simply an amazing sight. The 2 supercluster cultivators and 2 top-quality water and fire star generals among the earthly stars, Su Xing and Hunyangzi completely were suppressed, completely incapable going to attack, and Guaning was even more aloof. She merely evaded attacks, without the slightest intention of taking action. Any way it was put, as she was someone else's star general, to aid another star master was too contrary to her loyalty as the brave star. As expected of the water and fire twin generals. Su Xing praised. But comparing magic energy, Su Xing's side had the star maiden of Maiden Mountain that was top-notch in magic energy. The already more or less recovered Gongsun Huang emerged from the star nest. She sat on Su Xing's shoulder, pointed her pine brand ancient sword and activated star magic. White clouds filled the sky and turned into a wandering dragon that surprisingly completely blocked their star magic. Leisure Star Dragon in the clouds Gongsun Sheng. Sikong Shuha was stunned, hoarsely crying out. Careful. How could the four of us be scared of you? Sikong Dangnyo fumed. She formed hand seals, chanted, and released true fire. Sikong Chuha did not dare be careless. She extended a hand and pointed. An ice flame also flew out and battled against Su Xing's purple mansion Immortal Thunder. Do not be too proud of yourself. Hun Yangzi coldly snorted. She whipped her blood-sweat silver hair horse, rushing towards the General of Holy Fire. Gongsun Huang activated star magic. Just perfect, General of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin tightly gripped her phoenix reincarnation saber. Although she was also a magic energy star general, she was somewhat proficient in martial arts. Seeing Hun Yangzi unexpectedly advance, she spurred the heavenly flame divine steed to welcome her. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. A dazzling war immediately was underway in the sky. The blood-sweat silver hair horse and the heavenly flame divine steed followed their master's intentions and sprayed flames and divine light. However, the bright star and the fierce star were infantry. Mounted combat completely restricted their strength. After several exchanges, Hun Yangzi suddenly stepped with her legs, flying out like an arrow, slashing her two sabers at Wei Ranxin. Wei Ranxin blew on the flames lining her saber, sending out a fire dragon. The flames scattered, revealing an elegant beauty. The General of Holy Fire changed. She hastily recalled the heavenly flame divine steed and raised her saber to block. Hate transmission. Hu Sanyang's saber stabbed, a pierce that was quick beyond compare. Wei Ranxin was shaken into vomiting blood from the chills on that saber, yet she was unwilling to admit defeat. Her cherry lips parted, and the 5-star Phoenix reincarnation saber's flame was blown outwards. At the same time, half of Hun Yangzi's body sustained a heavy blow. The General of Holy Fire staked the last of her strength. A burst of air erupted from both sides of the blade. The two wild fire dragons rapidly scuttled over Hun Yangzi's body, making her rigidly stiffen. She was forcefully levitated into the air to burn. Being locked tight by the fire dragons, Hun Yangzi was nevertheless calm. The golden wind and morning dew double sabers were in her hands. Suddenly, golden light and green light flashed, emerging like a dazzling dance. The two screaming fire dragons suddenly exploded into chunks of fire in midair. General of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin changed. This was bad. An absolutely beautiful silhouette flashed by, her wonderful figure more awesome than a dance as it shook apart the flames. She flew over like a bird. Saber light directly blossomed on Wei Ranxin's chest. Dark technique. Flying Star Magpie Dance. The first strike went smoothly. Just as Hun Yangzi was about to use her second attack, to slay the enemy in passing, 100 flame flying swords combined into a dragon that bit over at her, knocking Hun Yangzi back. Wei Ranxin's Star Master Sikong Dangnyo snorted. She continuously formed hand seals, and the flying swords blindingly changed into a sword array and simultaneously attacked. Hun Yangzi took a step back. She wielded her double sabers, the saber light scattered. All of the flying swords were shaken apart. But at this time, the advantage of a Star Master and Star General together was displayed. The General of Holy Fire Wei Ranxin seized this chance while her master was entangled with Hun Yangzi. She rushed over, the Phoenix reincarnation saber slashing a scorching hot red light. That saber light was extremely fast. But it was fleeting. Even Hun Yangzi had no way to evade. The attack struck her in the chest, and her heart seemed to be aflame. A scorching pain made the bright star's body sluggish, nearly releasing the double sabers. Dark technique. Burning heart break. Die. Wei Ranxin was about to succeed with one stroke, again parting her cherry lips. Humph. Hun Yangzi's figure was like an illusion, using light smoke dance steps, immediately disappearing from Wei Ranxin's eyes. Suddenly, there was the sound of a breath. Wei Ranxin's heavenly fire burned, yet there was a red lasso. Wei Ranxin was greatly surprised. The red lasso seemed alive as it seized Wei Ranxin's wrist. With a pull, the General of Holy Fire's attack stance completely collapsed. The bright star was like a goddess. In the next second, her absolutely beautiful figure already landed in front of Wei Ranxin. Her expression was cold and detached as before. Her face did not show the slightest pain or stagnation from suffering the effects of burning heartbreak. Impossible. Wei Ranxin hastily blocked. Huaqing instantly slashed. Golden wind swayed. Wei Ranxin caught it. However, this time, only then did Huaqing's attack begin. Hate transmission. All of her power gathered to a single point, and a strength like a drill instantly penetrated through Wei Ranxin's phoenix reincarnation saber. Wei Ranxin was shocked and pushed back. This time, it was Huaqing's turn to counterattack. A white light once again brushed past. Incredible. Wei Ranxin blocked, flames surging. It was just like she was defending against a death god's weapon. With the clanging sounds of metal, the two of them successively brushed past. But just at the moment the two brushed shoulders, Huaqing suddenly spun around with a beautiful dance step. This feeling is endless lasso restricted the General of Holy Fire's actions. The other saber slashed horizontally. Wei Ranxin was gloomy. She could only put all her strength into defending. She urged on the 5-star destined weapon to break off the lasso. Then, she retreated under the cover of Sikong Dangnyo. When both sides disengaged, Wei Ranxin's chest was soaked in blood. Does it hurt? Huaqing coldly gazed at Wei Ranxin. Hm. Wei Ranxin sneered, not caring at all. A scarlet saber light once again flew straight for Huaqing's chest. Burning heart break. I want to see how many times you can defend. Wei Ranxin sneered. Other than the instant the burning heartbreak launched its attack, all of her remaining strength would bring painful, burning heat. Most of the time, it could obstruct a martial general's performance. But what she did not expect was that just as the burning heartbreak scarlet saber light was about to touch Huaqing, an earth book suddenly opened. Dense mist rose, directly blocking this saber light. However, a 5-star dark technique was still powerful. A hole was ripped into the earth book's defenses. But it was enough. Huaqing pursed her lips, and her figure swayed. A moonlight-like afterimage was left behind. Without a sound, a strength that was powerful to the extreme had already drawn near Wei Ranxin. A light flashed in her eyes. The saber suddenly rose to protect her front. Huaqing's speed and power were far greater than she had imagined. Wei Ranxin's chance had already vanished, and the flames around her body wildly flowed, attempting to use fire to block. Bang! Flying star magpie dance. Approaching like a magpie passing by the Milky Way, the double sabers became shadows. When that power made contact, in that instant, two enormous forces immediately made a brief intersection on Wei Ranxin's body. Huaqing once again attacked. The tip of her sword stabbed towards Wei Ranxin. As Wei Ranxin had anticipated, Bright Star Huaqing's swordsmanship honestly was too fantastical. She basically had no way to defend. This is bad. Wei Ranxin completely did not expect that Huaqing could still execute such a swift attack, and this attack's power had a sort of strangeness, as if she was being eyed by a death god. Immediately, the cold tip slithered past her body like a viper. The strength her body had accumulated was drained without a trace in an instant. Her footsteps staggered, and her entire person already continuously stepped 100 paces back, as if she was drunk. On her chest, there were left several blade wounds. Her figure greatly swayed. Wei Ranxin stood unsteadily and with great difficulty. Her expression was already extremely astonished, those limpid eyes endlessly twinkling. With a muted grunt, a clear line of blood already flowed from the corner of her mouth. Such incredible strength. Let alone that Huaqing had completely suppressed Wei Ranxin, Su Xing and Gongsun Huang also had the advantage facing the General of Sacred Water and Sikong Chuha for the time being. Gongsun Huang's star magic was unmatched. The general of sacred water could only ward her attacks off with great difficulty. Seizing the chance while they dueled in star magic, Su Xing already relied on that powerful battle doctrine innate skill, roaming like a dragon, directly advancing. Sikong Chuha's hand carried a crystalline spear and moved forth. As the star master of a magic energy star general, she would have outstanding performance mostly in close quarters battle. Su Xing was not surprised she would rush over. Shackles of water suddenly locked up Su Xing's arms and legs. Then, Sikong Chuha's figure instantly was in front of the bound Su Xing's eyes. This ice sister of the ice and fire twins slashed her spear with practically no hesitation, cutting apart her target amidst a shattering sound. But that was only a shadow. Nicely done. Su Xing appeared from behind her, slashing downwards with the heaven-tearing sword he brandished in his hand. Sikong Chuha's reactions were extremely quick. She spun around and deflected with the spear's blade, drawing a firelight at the same time countless ice swords fell from the sky. Su Xing once again disappeared from beneath Sikong Chuha's attack. However, the next time he reappeared, Sikong Chuha already had safeguards. Could your distinguished self be that purple thunder monster? Sikong Chuha wrinkled her brow, having seen Su Xing launch purple thunder. Try and find out. Purple thunder wrapping heaven and the heaven-suppressing stillness palm clashed with the magics of the water and earth flying about. Sikong Chuha's brows tightly locked, discerning with a glance that these two powers were out of the ordinary. Knowing that she was standing on a landmine, Sikong Chuha's expression was even more grim. She took action without any carelessness. She struck hand seals, and the 100 crystalline flying swords spun about, attacking endlessly, like a blooming lotus flower. The flickering flames of Su Xing and Sikong Chuha's flying swords clashing appeared and then disappeared, one after another. Su Xing's dominance in close quarters was far from something Sikong Chuha could compare to. For the first time, Sikong Chuha faced a foe she was incapable of winning against, and this made Sikong Chuha quite flabbergasted. Snow Woman Lantern. 24. Sikong Chuha suddenly pointed. In her hand appeared a white palace lantern. The white lantern dimmed, and then countless white lights flew out, instantly assembling in front of Su Xing. A scene of ice and snow appeared in Su Xing's surroundings. The white palace lantern's light was increasingly glaring. Sikong Chuha was under the lantern, her whole body looked brand new, making Su Xing recall the icy heroic air Lin Yingmei had in a snowstorm. Sikong Chuha thrust forward the icy spear that burned with a flame seemingly of frost. The way the fire burned seemed extremely abnormal, like the flapping wings of a bird. This is, Su Xing immediately recognized what Sikong Chuha was doing. Frost Luan 9 Firmaments. 25. Sikong Chuha lowly shouted and slashed a surging frost flame from the body of her spear. Su Xing's line of sight was immediately enveloped by the flames that were capable of burning even the sky. This rendered him unable to flee, even if he wanted to. Sikong Chuha's spear was clearly soul-imbued, transforming into a frost one divine bird that flew out of the 9 firmaments. The flame's range was very wide, and after it launched itself towards its target, it would burn the entire space, leaving its foe with no place to hide. Furthermore, because this was the flame of a divine bird produced by a divine spear, normal defensive strength was completely incapable of blocking. Sikong Chuha slightly panted, for this attack wasted much of her strength. The icy flames slowly dispersed, and when she saw her opponent, Sikong Chuha's brow was locked even tighter. Su Xing appeared unscathed among the flames, completely without trace of harm. An earth book opened up in front of Su Xing, gushing forth a scathing earth chi. That earthly fire wrapped his whole body, and even the frost fire was unable to break through. What is this magic weapon? Sikong Chuha drew in a sharp breath. What is that magic weapon of yours? Sikong Chuha had never seen the earth book to her recollection. What say you? It was Su Xing's turn to attack. Could that be a psychic communication earth book? Sikong Chuha sneered. The girl was very smart, and she very quickly deduced what it was. Although the earth book was powerful, it was extremely taxing on his magic energy. Su Xing felt he could not sustain it. At this time, he sensed that Huaqing was in danger. He promptly sent out the Earth Book at the same time, and then he resolutely blitzkrieged an assault on Sikong Chuha. Bang! A powerful aggression rushed right for her, making the girl's face change. Chuha. The Shan Menger being suppressed by Gongsun Huang saw her master was in danger. Disregarding everything, she charged over. She thrust her flying shower falling star spear, and the water flow in the air immediately formed a beautiful design. The spear in her hand seemed to become an ice-cold line. Time flows like water. Shan Menger interrupted, ice-cold. The girl's hands waved the spear's ice-blue light strangely shooting back and forth in the air with a degree that defied imagination. Even Su Xing could only use the word dazzling to describe this kind of degree. Even though Su Xing already made very careful preparations, when Shan Menger used time flows like water with this type of resolution and strength, he knew that there was already nothing he could do quickly in this star duel between star masters. Time flows like water's light instantly pierced through the air. That kind of speed was alarming. Not only for Su Xing, but also Huaqing and even the spectating Guan were affected. Within a range of several li, that flowing light attacked with inconceivable speed, completely indefensible. Su Xing, Huaqing, and Gongsun Huang all retreated, and the Earth Book flipped open. Even that tyrannical Earth Book's defenses also destroyed each and every attack of the time flows like water. In the blink of an eye, at least 1,000 powerful strikes came over, weaving a net that filled the sky. Voila! 26, the cloak on Guan Ying's shredded. Countless sword lights attacked. Shan Menger Sikong Chuha at this time used resonance. When she used time flows like water again, Guan already was unable to use her bare hands to block. The brave star mounted the Guanghan red hair. Chased in the air by the spear light, her speed was quick to the extreme. Guanghan red hair. She is brave star great blade Guan Sheng. Sikong Chuha said in astonishment. What, he's great saint star killer? But how does he have 3 star generals? Sikong Dangnyo was shaken. Run away, quickly. Sikong Chuha immediately said. The generals of holy fire and sacred water formed wide walls of flame and ocean. Then, they each mounted their own divine steeds, immediately fleeing on horseback, not at all wishing to continue the fight. By the time the attack completely vanished, Su Xing already was unable to chase, even if he wanted to. Little Huang, Nyangzi, are you okay? Su Xing asked. The 2 girls shook their heads. The general of sacred water and the general of holy fire. Su Xing murmured. The coordination between these 2 sisters was actually tacit. Shaking his head, he did not continue thinking of this. Guan, your identity was exposed. We'd better quickly make haste for the 9 hells. As we should have already been. Guan was expressionless. Rising Dragon City. Only when the Sikong sisters fled to the city did they stop. Even if it was a star duel, they presumed their counterpart would not dare be unbridled inside the city. He was Great Saint Star Killer, the #1 star master of the Black Turtle territory. Sikong Dangnyo was unreconciled. Perhaps he is not. Sikong Chuha shook her head. The 3 girls were perplexed. After the star duel, Guanxing did not move a finger, and Great Saint Starkiller cannot use purple thunder, Sikong Chuha said, but indeed only the brave star was capable of controlling the Guanghan red hair. Could it be that Guanxing has some matters that she would sneak away from her master? Shan Menger was bright, vaguely feeling things were mysterious. 9 tattooed dragons and the 3 Ruans have enmity for Guanxing. Since we cannot defeat the opponent, then we can exploit this opportunity. Sikong Chuha thought, already with a countermeasure. We all listened to elder sister. The 3 girls nodded in tacit understanding. The 9 dragon sea's edge had a black sea. This sea had neither wind nor waves, a frightening deathly stillness. At first glance, it was like a deep black abyss. Thus, this sea was named the Endless Abyss. On the Endless Abyss was an islet, and there was a narrow mountain range. This chain had a giant ravine that emitted a fiendish chi. Its name was Nine Hells. At this time, there was a man and woman in the sky above the Nine Hells. Great Saint Starkiller's worried brows were deeply locked. He stared at the boundless everywhere, at this Nine Hells island that was quieter than a tomb. He did not know why his heart had an indescribable discomfort. This irritated Great Saint Starkiller to no end because ever since he realized that Guan had ran away to remove the 9 Nether Devil Star, they had arrived even more quickly from Devil Star Palace's Taboo Hall via teleportation array to wait for their rabbit. Everything seemed to have been anticipated. The other woman wore a black palace dress. A netherworld death butterfly fluttered on her finger. Seeing Great Saint Starkiller's worry, a mocking grin flashed across her face. Great Saint Starkiller, your relationship with Guan is normally so good, I never thought that at the most critical time that she would surprisingly betray you. Jin'er is only temporarily confused. Great Saint Starkiller's expression was not at all sightly. I sure hope so. Ming Dai sneered. Her finger pointed, and a black banner flew out. Seeing that black banner, Great Saint Starkiller's expression became gloomy. If Guan has betrayed you, then you should know what to do. Back to our other topic, I am still honestly curious as to how you and the Brave Star signed a contract. Ming Dai thoughtfully asked. Guan, how did you sign a contract with Great Saint Starkiller? Su Xing curiously asked. To narrate the story of Guan and Great Saint Starkiller's contract was a bit long. To summarize, her reply perhaps would be best left with this disappointing sentence. He had sufficient ability to become this general's star master. 2. On this point, Su Xing actually had the same feeling. Great Saint Starkiller was at supercluster peak. Across all of Liangshan continent, he was generally considered the best. Su Xing himself had contracted 10 star generals and was only supercluster middle stage. By sufficient ability, you must mean the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone? Hun Yangzi's knuckles were white. Guan lowered her head, not uttering a word. However, now that you've gone and touched the Devil Star Stone, what's the explanation you'll give after you go back? Su Xing asked her. Your Highness, 3, naturally will have to make allowances for this general's kindness. Guan calmly said. Since this was the case, Su Xing said nothing more. Just as they caught sight of the endless abyss, at this time, their 3 escape lights halted. 2 demon beasts appeared on the ocean, and on the demon beasts stood 2 women. They were Sword Star Ruan Jin'er and Defeat Star Ruan Mayer. The 2 had waited for a long time, and seeing Su Xing and Guan appear, Ruan Jin'er sneered. Ruan Mayer put down the picture book in her hand, and then a Dragon King dagger appeared. Guan, you would unexpectedly elope with a man? This is the famous and renowned Brave Star Great Blade Guan of unmatched loyalty. The chief of the 5 tiger generals? Ruan Jin'er laughed aloud. She pointed her unstably drifting green rainbow. She then looked at Su Xing. You truly have good tricks as a man, to surprisingly be able to fool around with Guan. Could it because you 2 took a married couple's bath together last time? Ruan shower, quiet. Hun Yangzi coldly rebuked. Fort Master Ruan, we are helping Guan this time to go help her destroy the Devil Star, to set your little sister's soul free and return it to Maiden Mountain. Don't tell me you'd stop us. Su Xing's tone sunk. Do you think I am like Guan, that I would believe the words of a star master? Ruan Jin'er disdainfully sneered. Ruan Jin'er, this Nyangzi wants to kill Guan even more than you do, but for the sake of Huaqing, this Nyangzi can guarantee that dear husband's words are absolutely true. Hun Yangzi showed grief. Ruan Jin'er smiled, and so what if they are true? Now that Guan is weak is precisely a good opportunity. Why would I miss this chance? Don't tell me you'd rather allow your own little sister become a devil star forged into that weapon? Su Xing asked. Elder sister. Ruan Mayer softly said. Ruan Jin'er nodded. She shouted, Stupid, the Devil Star Palace has long already been waiting for you at the 9 Hells. You think you can violate the orders of your Great Saint Starkiller? That a star master like you does not seize the chance to kill Guan, yet would actually help her remove the devil's star, is truly ridiculous to the extreme. Enough of the chatter. Guan Sheng, give your life. Ruan Jin'er furiously shouted. 1,000 flying swords chaotically descended without another word. Her star beast Blue Wave's underworld quail held a shield and sword in its hands, standing on the water. When Ruan Mayer saw her elder sister take action, she could no longer hesitate. Her figure swayed, and then she leapt 100 chi, a Dragon King's thundering roar emerging screaming from the Dragon King dagger. The sea waters parted. Huaqing's double sabers intercepted. 5 stars swirled on the golden wind and morning dew, flickering miserably. Sparks flew everywhere. The Dragon King's thundering roar tore everything to shreds. Huaqing counterattacked. The bright star that had barely entered the matchless realm was like a snake, suddenly flying of the blood-sweat silver hair horse. She then vanished. Ruan Mayer instinctively retreated backwards. Ruan Mayer saw Huaqing standing at the place where she had been, nonchalantly waving her sabers. Blood from the blade wounds gouged into her shoulders gathered into droplets that fell onto the ground. Rip! Ruan Mayer's chest split apart, revealing a wound that was neither deep nor shallow. Ruan Mayer pointed. The seas raised a stream of water, and at the same time, a ball of water gathered on her wound, instantly healing it. Ruan Mayer, would you rather your own sister be refined into a devil star? Huaqing asked, the droplets of blood evaporating. Great Saint Starkiller will not allow Guan Sheng to renounce the devil star. Ruan Mayer flung the Dragon King dagger. A water dragon rolled over. It firmly entangled Huaqing. Even more water dragons wrapped around her. Huaqing's figure rushed out, swift beyond compare. Light smoke dance steps circled around to behind Ruan Mayer, and the defeat star stabbed backwards, catching her weapon. Without any sloppy movements, Ruan Mayer's line of sight was not even on Huaqing's body when the Dragon King dagger suddenly attacked with an azure dragon, riding the wind and breaking through the seas, the blade chi tyrannical. Whoosh! Without choice of advancing, Huaqing's double sabers blocked, facing her head-on. Several strands of her hair were severed. Golden wind crumbled. Huaqing leaned her body, and the azure dragon wind blew straight over, shredding the seas as if it was tofu. So it turned out to be this. Huaqing panted. Huaqing's double sabers barely blocked this dark technique, azure dragon breaking eastern wind. Her whole body had been shaken numb, as if her 4 limbs were already paralyzed. After drinking by Yutang's worry-free without a care, Huaqing temporarily could not feel the pain, yet she felt her body was stiff. So powerful. Defeat star living King Yama made Huaqing not dare lower her guard. Bright star 10 feet of blue's double sabers trembled, and she was finally able to move. Ruan Mayer could only watch, neither sad nor happy. If you and your master do not want to work with us to kill Guan Sheng, then today, you will be buried here along with your foe. Are you truly resigned to this? Dear husband's decision, Huaqing does not have any complaints. But, Ruan Xiaoqi, you can leave your big talk until after you kill Huaqing. Huaqing smiled and abruptly vanished. Guan, you go to the 9 hells yourself. I will help you stall them here. Su Xing used the immemorial flying swords to entangle the 1,000 flying swords, turning his head to shout to Guan. Guan straddled the Guanghan red hair. She struggled for a moment, not saying a word, about to crash her way through the 2 Ruans. Thinking of running, Ruan Jin'er did not hesitate at all to use curtain flower canopy shadow reversed. The seas manifested hundreds of duckweed. Under Ruan Jin'er's divine intent, they simultaneously slammed towards Guan. The edged green rainbow was like a hurricane. The green rainbow shattered, and a horse whinnied. Guanghan red hair charged out of the green duckweed, its hooves thundering. Surprisingly, she completely blocked Ruan Jin'er's dark techniques. The blue wave's underworld quail let out an ear-splitting scream. It gripped its large sword and swung downwards. Endless seawater gathered around the blue waves' underworld quail to form an unblockable fury overflowing the heavens that pounced on the Guanghan red hair. Guan Ying's figure flew out. She glanced at the red hair that battled the blue waves' underworld quail, biting her lip. A green light twisted over. Clang! Su Xing intercepted in front of Guan Ying. His hands twisted, flung outwards, and a bull-sized purple mansion immortal thunder flew out from his palm. After flying directly downwards 100 chi, it abruptly exploded. Millions upon millions of tiny purple thunder meteors soared into the sea. Immediately afterwards, they reflected as a chain. From beneath the sea, the millions of thunderbolts broadside. The purple chi unexpectedly surged upwards, the power several tens of times greater than before, shocking to anyone else watching. A heavenly spirit astral treasure, star opposing mirror, 5, flew around Ruan Jin'er surroundings. The mirror released 1,000 zhang light, unexpectedly suppressing Su Xing's full-power purple mansion immortal thunder. Go! Su Xing spread his divine intent. On one hand, he blocked the 1,000 flying swords, and on the other, he stalled Ruan Jin'er, which was very taxing. Many thanks. 2 words burst from the cracks of Guan Ying's teeth. She grabbed the purple brilliant moon-slashing blade and cut her own way through, sweeping away all of Ruan Jin'er's obstructions. The azure sea green duckweed was futile and powerless to the 5-star destined weapon. In the blink of an eye, Guan Ying's figure turned smaller and smaller. Ruan Jin'er wanted to give chase, but suddenly, a hurricane paused. Then, she heard a phoenix cry. A roaring flame surged. Gongsun Huang had already emerged, standing atop the new heavenly phoenix. Gongsun Huang cocked her head, her extraordinarily refined eyes sweeping across everything. The pine brand ancient sword again released several star magics to attack Ruan Mayer. Ruan Mayer was forced back. Hun Yangzi ducked and swooped down, her double sabers dancing. Bloody wounds quickly bloomed on Ruan Mayer's underdeveloped chest, but before there could be any bigger wounds, Ruan Mayer already healed completely. Both sides were seemingly at the peak of confrontation. The 2 Ruans were unable to break through Su Xing's group of 3. Ruan Jin'er's face was unsightly. Star Master, do you not realize you are digging your own grave? The sword star looked at Su Xing, itching to pull him apart and grind his bones. She had never seen such a stupid Star Master, to unexpectedly let go of a chance in front of him to help a Star General. Could it be you are so resolved to do this to your little sister? Su Xing was very disappointed. Are you serious? Ruan Jin'er was shocked, feeling disbelief. Who would joke about his own wife's matter? Su Xing was deadpan, the 24 flying swords revolving about. Ruan Jin'er's 1,000 flying swords swayed with the wind. The sword star hesitated indefinitely. Hu Sanyang, is this your thinking? Nyangzi is not like you, who would ignore their own sister's soul being smelt into a devil star. Hu Sanyang answered. The feelings of sadness and tenderness in her eyes stared. The hurt came from how despicably her sisters had died, the tenderness from the gratitude that Su Xing could help her. Insane. Truly insane. This Star Master truly was fucking bullshit. The 9 hells can remove the Devil Star, but it can also corrupt Guaning even more thoroughly. Do you actually believe this Guan Sheng is still that supreme martial general unmatched in loyalty? Ever since she contracted with the Devil Star Palace, she had already fell onto the path of depravity. You surprisingly have faith in her, and Hu Sanyang, you unexpectedly even support your master. Corrupt even more thoroughly. Su Xing wrinkled his brow. Just at this moment, an enormous black cloud surged up from the endless abyss's 9 hells, as if it was covering the heavens. Ruan Jin'er's face suddenly paled, and her eyes showed unreconciliation. She stowed all of her killing intent, and she very fiercely glared at Su Xing. Now, I will let Great Blade Guanxing trample over your ridiculous naivete. The color of blood blossomed. The sound of a breaking dragon thundered. This small island was split into many cracks by the bloodlight. The ocean's waters surged, churning with rolling, bloody waves. Everything revolved around a theme of blood. Blood Dragon Edge Dance. A refined young woman raised the dragon-breaking bloody slaughter saber, displaying her own most beautiful and most powerful aggression. But the opponent did not stagger even a step. That body was extraordinarily heroic, like a god of war descended. She was brave star Great Blade Guan. Xinzi. 2. A 17 or 18-year-old youth powerlessly knelt on the ground. He could only watch helplessly as the girl futilely struggled. Ranked 94th level star Iron Arm Kai Fu, you are too reckless. Guan had a tone of voice that seemed as if she was chiding her little sister. Her footsteps slightly swayed, and she avoided that bloody saber technique. As that man hung between life and death, the ranked 94th little sister level star's imposing aura was full. Guan was somewhat impressed. Blood Dragon Edge Dance. Level star Kai Xinzi was not to be outdone. The dragon-breaking bloody slaughter saber in her hand shrieked. Large shards of saber light were like red needles. Guan Ying's hand gripped her great blade, and she suddenly attacked. The surprise attack's power crushed towards her as it carried the force of 10,000 caddies. Its unstoppable power destroyed the yellow technique she thought had been grand. Ha! Kai Xinzi's face turned pale, and she looked helplessly at the great blade's light. Just at this moment, a shadow intercepted in front of her, acting as a shield. Even Guan did not expect this sudden change. That too weak to even struggle youth had surprisingly charged over. This young man was not a star master. Guan Ying's brow wrinkled, and she promptly stopped. However, the purple brilliant moon slashing blade's edge and chi were tyrannical. The remaining burst of destruction was sufficient to leave a stardust stage cultivator an inevitable corpse. Zhu Jing, 1, 3, Kai Xinzi screamed, feeling more frightened of this than her own death. Bang! The blade chi scattered. The youth's whole body was full of injuries, yet he unbelievably survived. Are you mad? Why would you shield me? Kai Xinzi lost all of her keenness and fierceness. Guan sheathed her blade. What is your relationship? She asked. He has nothing to do with me. Kai Xinzi ground her teeth. Guan pursed her lips. Her expression was heavy as iron, capable of sinking one's mood into the powerful pressure of a depth of 10,000 zhang. After a long while, Guan faintly smiled, he is a good master. She turned and left. You will not kill me. Level star Kai Xinzi was astonished. Guan did not even look back. She walked very leisurely, leaving behind a sentence. Grow alongside your master. This general will naturally uprighteously experience little sister's strength in the star duels. Kai Xinzi was at a loss for words. Walking past this island, Guan came to the beach side. She raised her head, and a crimson star already appeared in the sky. Come out then. Guan spoke. A slightly smiling man descended from the sky. He wore a black shirt and black armor, casual and at ease. Supercluster Star Master. Guan looked at the newcomer, and her eyebrows rose. Hardly a year of the star duels had passed, but there was unexpectedly a star master with this kind of cultivation, unmatched by anyone. Guan, as expected, your name is not in vain, righteous and majestic. The man smiled and cupped hissed. Have you come to die, or have you come to die? Or perhaps you have come to die. Guan Ying's hands cupped some seawater, washing her face. I wish to sign a contract with you. The man said. Why would this general want to sign a contract with you? Guan moistened her throat, staring neither sad nor happy at this man. Ever since she heard from Chai Ling that a top-notch star master had appeared in the Black Turtle territory, Guan had come here. This man was clingy and persistent, following her like a shadow. His cultivation was indeed unmatched, but this was not at all able to interest the proud chief of the Fiver Tigers generals. Time after time they clashed. Time after time, she made this man wander the edge of life and death without him cowering back at all. Pretty good determination. It appeared that perhaps he knew in front of the brave star, any timidity or cowardice would naturally be a shameful self-destruct. Today, this farce ought to end. The star duels do no care for good or evil, only life and death. Regardless of good or evil, there is only means of survival. The man slightly smiled. By fair or foul means, this statement only baffles this general. Guan disdainfully curled her lips. Ha, ha. The man smiled, as you say. I also feel that regarding the brave star's words, unscrupulous means are honestly disgraceful. So sign a contract with me. Let us work together, grand and successful, use the brave star's strongest power to crush all of the opponents in these star duels and become an unmatched overlord. The man opened his hand, beckoning as if this generation of star duels was completely in his palm. Guan pensively smiled. Why did you save him just now? Against her blade chi from before, if it was not for this man's intervention, that Zhu Jing would have inevitably died. She was very perplexed. Why would this man save another star master? Was this from his sincerity? Or did he have some other plan? He can sign a contract with the level star. Since this is the case, give them a chance. Being upright and frank without regret is even better. The man smiled. Guan nodded, impressed. How about it, Great Blade, are you willing to sign a contract with me? Let us be strong together, to smile proudly in today's Liangshan. Yes, if it is this time, you can live under this general's blade. This general will recognize you as your highness. Guan gripped her blade in one hand, leisurely and freely, yet also exuding a bit of pressure. The man did not dare be careless. Flying swords of starlight emerged. Right, this general true name is Ying, just the one word. What is your name? Guan raised her blade and asked. No name, the Devil Star Palace has previously conferred the title, Great Saint Star Killer. She was dizzy, as if she had fallen into a dream. When she saw Great Saint Starkiller and Ming Dai appear in front of her, Guan reminisced about the scene of that time she signed her contract with Great Saint Starkiller. It was vivid in her mind, meticulously etched in. Powerful teamwork that crushed all opponents. But everything had suddenly began to transform into something very illusionary to the point she thought that was merely a dream. Jin'er. Great Saint Starkiller tenderly said. Guan Sheng, you have truly made us wait for a while. Since you want the 9 hells, just say so. We wanted to bring you to this place where the Devil Star is born, more urgently than you thought. Ming Dai mockingly enjoyed Guan Ying's seemingly forever unbeatable mask. Today, the brave star would finally fall. Maiden Mountain, can you see this? You are no more than this, the Devil Star Palace can control your star maiden as it pleases. Guan Ying's brows twisted. Jin'er, come back with me. Great Saint Starkiller. I know that everything has been difficult to bear for you, but the star duels are just this way, disregarding good or evil. There is only life and death, did you forget? Your Highness, could it be you have forgotten those words from that time when we said we would be upright and frank? Guan coldly said. Ha, 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 ha. Ming Dai laughed maniacally. This is too ridiculous. Is the brave star so funny? Upright and frank? Ming Dai calmed down. Her side-splitting laughter was immediately followed by an extreme gloom. Brave star that has been uprighteously and frankly defeated, are you overdoing your honor? What qualifications do you still have to be upright and frank? As Ming Dai sees it, your appearance is best to be a 1,000-year devil star to sweep across Liangshan. Lady Ming Dai. Great Saint Starkiller was annoyed, his expression respectfully stopping her. Do you feel this is wrong? Great Saint Starkiller. When you have the strength to do so, then you can be upright and frank, then you can be the proudest in the world, but when you are being trampled down, you must understand one fact, you must have stronger power, even if it is unscrupulous. This is the Devil Star Palace's rule. Ming Dai coldly said. Even so, This general will not use the souls of other sisters to forge into her own strength. This general disdains to use this kind of method to differentiate life and death. Instead of this general would rather starfall. Guan shouted. Ming Dai was taken aback, she laughed despicably. If it was not for Great Saint Starkiller's hindrance, Guan long would have wanted to get rid of this arrogant woman. Sensing the killing intent in Guan Ying's heart, Great Saint Starkiller wrinkled his brow. Great Saint Starkiller, you should have heard Guan Ying's words. She would rather starfall than use the Devil Star. This truly is ridiculously upright. Do you know what to do? Ming Dai seemed to be watching a play. She fiddled with a black death butterfly. Guan, could it be you truly want to be so stubbornly wrong? Even if you use the other star generals, so what? They were inherently the enemy. It is obvious that they should become a stepping stone for our ascent. Great Saint Starkiller was indignant. A stepping stone, huh? Guan closed her eyes, mulling over these 3 words. When she opened her eyes again, they were already firm as boulder. Perhaps this general has been manipulated by the Devil Star. How could such a thing happen? Great Saint Starkiller spoke without much confidence. Just now, he already realized the power of the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone. That absolutely was the nightmare of all star maidens. This general understands, but this time, this general is unable to comply with this order, no matter what. Guan was tranquil and calm. She eyed the entrance to the 9 hells. Her figure flashed, and then he charged. Great Saint Starkiller's heart went limp. How could he not know Guan Ying's personality? Even if she had been defeated by that purple thunder monster, there were still enough chances to wrest back the overlordship in the 3 heavenly books and the 7 stars assembly. It could be said that Great Saint Starkiller naturally did not want to separate with Guan, but the Devil Star Palace nevertheless thought differently. As the number 1 Devil Palace of the Black Turtle Territory, having painstakingly nurtured Great Saint Starkiller, any defeat was shame. What Devil Star Palace demanded was overwhelmingly tyrannical power, to not bat an eye even if Star Master and Star General were to become walking corpses. Ming Dai thoughtfully watched Great Saint Starkiller, her eyes somewhat warning him. Great Saint Starkiller grit his teeth. Jinger, come back with me, we can take our time with a decision. His hands formed a hand seal. A black cloud covered towards Guan. Guan spared no effort to brandish her blade. The 5-star destined weapon shattered the black cloud. Guan, you would become enemies with me? Great Saint Starkiller's heart chilled. This general wants only to get rid of the Devil Star. Afterwards, she will naturally follow your highness in the star duels. Guan replied. Could it be we cannot go back for now to ponder over this? This general will not comply. I can only force you back into the star nest then. Great Saint Starkiller struck a hand seal. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords were urged forwards, becoming scattering starlights to trap Guan. Immediately afterwards, he raised a magic weapon, and a black canopy filled the sky. Just when Guan was about to be rolled in, without any warning, green light stirred, completely breaking this black chi. The clear light sprinkled down, making Great Saint Starkiller feel disgusted every time he saw it. Evil suppressing clear light. Great Saint Starkiller raised his head in disbelief. Clear light already shot towards him, and he could only dodge. When he saw the owner of the clear light, Great Saint Starkiller's face was furious. It is you. Purple Thunder Monster. Great Saint Starkiller. Su Xing growled. Guan, you unexpectedly eloped with the Purple Thunder Monster. This is truly too interesting. Ming Dai struck her palm. The death butterfly fluttered, flapping its wings along with her cheerful mood. The air was full of a thick, deathly air. Great Saint Starkiller's face was green. His star general unexpectedly walked as a pair with another man. Let alone Great Saint Starkiller, this was an unerasable shame in any generation of star duel. The heavenly cycle-changing holy sword's baleful aura increased, enveloping 9 Hells Island. I say, How could Guan suddenly know that the 9 hells can remove the Devil Star? It turns out to be the Purple Thunder monster's interference. Guan, you live off the charity of others, is this not worthy of the brave star's name? Ming Dai's words were very merciless. Humph. Guan disdained to explain. Guan, I order you, kill the Purple Thunder monster. Great Saint Starkiller shouted. His intimidating aura rolled, his jealousy manifesting in his speech. Young master. Guan glanced at Su Xing, wait until after this general removes the Devil Star, then she will naturally battle against him. You would surprisingly dare, surprisingly. Great Saint Starkiller's whole body shook, and his expression became more malicious than an evil spirit's. Resolution flashed across Guan Ying's eyes. Her honor did not allow her to turn back as she rushed towards the 9 hells underground cave. Bastard! Great Saint Starkiller furiously roared. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords released a killing intent that seemed to freeze the world. Great Saint Starkiller, you truly are pitiful. Your star general has unexpectedly betrayed you. Ming Dai fanned the flames, considerably enjoying the Star Master's every sort of despicably shameful performance. Shut up! Great Saint Starkiller roared, stunning Ming Dai. This supervoid middle stage cultivator's pupils widened, and her expression immediately became very unsightly. But how could the extremely angered Great Saint Starkiller care about some Devil Star Palace? Those whatever elders were all fucking irrelevant. Seeing Guan unexpectedly betray him for a man that should have been a mortal enemy, Great Saint Starkiller hated Su Xing to the bone. The boundless bell, the heavenly cycle-changing holy swords, the 8 desolates' heavenly demon body were all used without hesitation. Su Xing pointed a finger. The earth book flipped open, and yellow qi wafted, pulling out like a heavenly canopy and completely wrapping them up. The boundless bell clanged. This treasure could settle wind, thunder, water and fire. The knell rang, and the cloud of earthly qi instantly seemed to freeze. Su Xing urged on his magic energy, surprisingly unable to channel energy in. Great Saint Starkiller sneered. His boundless bell could settle heaven and earth and the 5 elements. No matter how powerful this earth book was, in the case he decided to, the cultivator's magic energy was unable to support it. Making a breakthrough was a question of time. The heavenly cycle-changing holy swords manifested starlights that filled the sky. They flashed by. Layer after layer of the soaring yellow earthly qi instantly were destroyed. Su Xing formed another hand seal. The earth book manifested the true spirit Empress Tuesday. An absolutely beautiful woman leapt out from the book, her sleeves gently waving, her white fingers forming hand seals. The originally frozen earth book yellow qi once again flowed, and the defenses ripped apart by the flying swords stitched back together. True spirit magic weapon. Ming Dai's eyes moved, for she felt astonishment. The number of magic weapons in all of Liangshan continent that manifested true spirits could be counted with fingers. The Star Master before her eyes surprisingly had this level of character. No wonder he could topple the entire Azure Dragon territory. This actually was somewhat advantageous. If she could take this treasure, Ming Dai's eyes showed wild desire, but she immediately recalled that outsiders had no way to refine true spirit magic weapons, unless they possessed strong divinity. However, even if she was to take hold of that earth book, she would be like a tiger that had grown wings. But this was in the middle of a battle between Star Masters. Ming Dai could not easily interfere. As she pondered, Great Saint Starkiller launched increasingly fierce attacks. The boundless bell rang, the sound waves rolled like a surging tide, and the earth book was somewhat unable to withstand. Great Saint Starkiller used the 8 desolates' heavenly demon body to forcefully tear it apart. A ray of devil qi rolled, and black qi entirely covered the 9 Hell Island. You truly would betray me for the Purple Thunder monster. Great Saint Starkiller was full of ice cold. This general is not betraying your highness and asks your highness to understand this general. Guan raised the great blade, her expression resolute. Great Saint Starkiller, could it be you are willing to watch your star general butcher her name, to become a walking corpse in the end? Su Xing shouted. The Lengia flying swords released thousands of rays of light, forming layers of net that covered downwards. Could it be this is how you view the star general you bound a life and death contract with? Green light and black light interlocked. Su Xing blocked in front of Great Saint Starkiller and rebuked him. If it was not for you, how could Jin'er and I ever have fallen to this stage? How could I, Great Saint Starkiller, ever lose to you? Great Saint Starkiller was unable to restrain his anger. His hands formed a seal, and the heavenly cycle-changing holy swords revolved into a sword array, another clump of black fire pouncing down like a tiger. Gongsun Huang was expressionless as she pointed her sword. She broke it in an instant. All for the sake of victory, even if you go beyond your own star general's bottom line? Su Xing was very disappointed. People like you have no qualifications to act as the star master of the brave star. Hun Yangzi's hatred was like the ocean. Golden wind slashed in front of Great Saint Starkiller, but the 8 Desolate's heavenly demon body endured. Before Great Saint Starkiller could react, a green light suddenly shot over. The yellow chi was torn apart, and the green light drew a trajectory that was quick to the extreme. In a flash, it shot directly towards Great Saint Starkiller's head. Young Master! Just as Guan was about to descend into the 9 hells, she saw Great Saint Starkiller suffering. Without thinking, her figure swayed. Bang! The green light was cut down by Great Blade, revealing a 4-star plant-like destined weapon, Azure Sea's green duckweed. Ruan Jin'er, what are you doing? Su Xing was startled. The 2 Ruans that had rushed over coldly watched over this chaotically unbelievable situation. Azure Sea's green duckweed returned to Ruan Jin'er's hand. Ruan Jin'er's gaze glinted ominously. Without another word, she was about to throw the green duckweed. Gongsun Huang activated a star magic. Cloud-traveling azure dragon turn. A gentle breeze and white clouds turned into a coiling dragon that obstructed Ruan Jin'er's murderous aura. Do you even want to save your little sister? Su Xing shouted. Any way it was put, Guan was Great Saint Starkiller's star general. To launch a fatal attack against Great Saint Starkiller, Guan would not abandon him in spite of everything. This was the inevitable action of all star maidens who had signed a contract. Are you a star master or not? Ruan Jin'er was even more flabbergasted. The current schism between Guan and Great Saint Starkiller was an absolutely golden opportunity. What star master would not kill first and think later? This has nothing to do with star masters. Don't tell me you want to watch your little sister fall eternally into the 9 hells. Do not regret it. Ruan Jin'er sneered. At this time, all of Great Saint Starkiller's thoughts were on Guan. Seeing her turn back, his heart softened. Jin'er. This general has made your highness disappointed, but this general would rather die for justice than live without purpose. This general is not afraid to die. Guan Ying's eyes seemed to fill with a firm spirit, but her words had an even deeper powerlessness and exhaustion. Great Saint Starkiller recalled those words when they signed their contract. An unscrupulous victory was nothing more than an insult to the brave star. What impressive words, die for justice, not live without purpose. Ming Dai jeered loudly. Guan Sheng, when you entered my devil palace, there was no room to turn back. Die for justice? Such a beautiful thought, this palace is going to enjoy even more watching your demonic nature sweep across Maiden Mountain. Ming Dai coldly reproved, Great Saint Starkiller, what are you still hesitating for? Guan has been lured by the purple thunder monster and unexpectedly abandoned you. She expressed her deepest feelings to this man along their tryst. Could it be you can swallow this level of humiliation that would last for all time? These words made the Great Saint Starkiller who had calmed once again contort, and his heart filled with fury. Great Saint Starkiller, if it wasn't for you living under someone else's roof, how could Guan ever do such a thing? Su Xing coldly laughed. Ruan Jin'er added fuel to the fire. Great Saint Starkiller, you are known as the Black Turtle Territory's #1 star master in possession of a top-notch star general, yet you allow someone else to order you about. This is already disgraceful. Guaning truly is short-sighted to follow you. Great Saint Starkiller, what are you waiting for? Don't forget that everything you have today was bestowed upon you by this palace. Ming Dai scolded. As matters stand, only by killing this group can you resolve the shame you suffered today. Let these people witness the might of the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller struggled for a moment. His eyes instantly became dense. He flew to Ming Dai's side and flipped his left hand. A black flag appeared. This banner's black light curled, and countless tadpole-like characters flew out of the banner. Ming Dai was very pleased with his obedience, and she wore a complacent smile. Guaning, although the 9 hells can remove the Devil Star, it can also release the Devil Star. Originally, this palace had prepared to leave this until after the 7 Stars Assembly, for you to sweep over Maiden Mountain with the Devil Star, but now it looks like things will have to be early. Guan Ying's expression sunk. There is still enough time to kill Guaning. Ruan Jin'er's expression changed. She used Azure Sea's green duckweed. But Great Saint Starkiller's right hand opened and raised a golden mountain peak. This peak suddenly grew in size, letting out a thick golden light. Each ray of light had the power of 1,000 caddies, squeezing them to the point of suffocating. The thick black clouds, black chi, and black light over the 9 hells were crushed to dust under the golden light. Impossible. Golden magnetic divine peak. Ruan Jin'er's face lost color. Even Ming Dai was surprised. The golden magnetic divine peak was Devil Ancestor Dark Nether's life-cast magic weapon, created using the 5 Spirits Law Heavenly Book's most powerful, first magnetic divine light, 2, ability. Its might flooded the heavens and dashed the earth. Even prehistoric spirit treasures could not compare. In particular was the first magnetic divine light's capability to shake the chi of the world. If a cultivator was to be absorbed by the first magnetic divine light, their powers would be suppressed, suffering serious injury. Go! Great Saint Starkiller's lips moved, and his hand raised the golden magnetic divine peak. The golden magnetic divine peak's golden light unfolded in all directions, becoming a golden ray, but no one could have expected that when Great Saint Starkiller pointed his finger, the golden magnetic divine peak's target was not Su Xing and the others, but astonishingly Ming Dai. Divine wind and magnetic light were released, pressuring Ming Dai's whole body into complete immobility. What are you doing? The color drained from Ming Dai's face. However, she was a supervoid middle-stage cultivator, after all. Caught unprepared by the golden magnetic divine peak, Ming Dai did not panic at all. Her in-room death butterflies appeared at the same time. A cold killing intent flashed in Great Saint Starkiller's eyes. The boundless bell rang out at the same time, which dispatched Ming Dai's other powers and magic weapons. Kill her! Great Saint Starkiller shouted. Guaning returned to her senses. Her hands gripped her blade, leaping and slashing. You dare kill your own elder! Ming Dai shouted. Powerful supervoid might unexpectedly blocked this golden magnetic divine peak. Following wind brandished with her palm, she struck Great Saint Starkiller in the chest. The 5-star purple brilliant moon slashing blade shredded the death butterflies. Bang! Ming Dai was exceptional, to still be able to once again avoid the Azure Dragon slash under this situation. However, today was the day she was destined to fall. Su Xing and the others did not hesitate to make their move. Langya broke apart the Devil Qi protecting Ming Dai's body, and Gongsun Huang's star magic forced Ming Dai to defend in a fluster. Purple lotus flowers floated over, just like a barrier, blocking off Ming Dai's surroundings. Ming Dai snapped her fingers. Primal chaosing thunder exploded, suddenly turning the purple lotus flowers into smithereens. Ming Dai's fully pale face shouted. Great Saint Starkiller, you will most inevitably pay the price. Soon after, she incited a protective true chi. Countless death butterflies tightly wrapped together like a shield. Now, you will pay the price. The golden magnetic divine peak smashed out a golden light, and the death butterflies all broke. Su Xing also controlled Lengia, releasing clear light that bound Ming Dai's escape paths. Regarding this woman who wanted to play with star generals in the palm of her hand, everyone was already sick of looking at her. Ming Dai, let me help break you. Ruan Jin'er sneered. The azure sea's green duckweed was tossed. A green light wrapped around, and at this time, Guan, Gongsun Huang, and Hunyangzi's triple offensive broke every sort of life-preserving method that Ming Dai had in succession. Ming Dai manifested an escape light to flee, but she had already done so when that green light bound her. Dark technique, duckweed are broken. How could Ming Dai ever have blocked this? She screamed, the green light immediately twisted, and Ming Dai was suddenly cut in two. Ruan Mayor's Dragon King's thundering roar turned her corpse into dust. With this, one of the Devil Star Palace's 4 great law protectors, a supervoid cultivator, had completely died. Su Xing did not expect that Great Saint Starkiller would suddenly turn traitor. However, thinking carefully, he immediately realized what Great Saint Starkiller was planning. As Guan Xing's Star Master, Great Saint Starkiller probably did not want to betray her wishes. If they were to remove the 9 Nether Devil Stars stone, then inevitably, he would have to first kill Ming Dai. Afterwards, things would perhaps be pinned on him. Your Highness. Guan was quite surprised. Get rid of the Devil Star stone then. But you will have to thank the Purple Thunder Monster. Great Saint Starkiller had a kind face. All of his hostility and killing intent had vanished. Su Xing narrowed his eyes. Guan Ying showed delight, and she walked over to Su Xing. No matter what, this general thanks you so much for this. But we will inevitably be enemies in the future, this is only for wife and Tangtang sisters. Su Xing replied, aloof. Guan Ying nodded. Su Xing was the most unbelievable star master she had ever seen. Regardless of the aspect, she suddenly somewhat understood why Wu Song and Lin Chong would follow by his side. If she had met this man before she had signed a contract, it was hard to say that she would not be moved by this feeling that was an odd mix of courage and warmth. Though her mood rapidly changed, the brave star's face was still unchanging, extraordinarily mighty. Just as Su Xing was about to speak again, suddenly, Guan Ying's figure moved, and the great blade slashed downwards. Guan Ying's sudden revolt far exceeded everyone's expectations. Hunyangzi was too late to react. The 5-star great blade cut straight from Su Xing's front. Bang! Golden light appeared. The 12 heaven tearing returned to his side, being jolted. Even if he had used the life-cast flying swords to defend, he still could feel the 5-star great blade's power. He suddenly vomited blood. Guan. Hunyangzi was infuriated, stabbing with her double sabers. Guan retreated several dozen steps back continuously. You would unexpectedly forget favors and violate justice. Hunyangzi was full of irrepressible killing intent. I fear those are Great Saint Starkiller's orders. Su Xing said. Gongsun Huang used her tiny hands to wipe away the blood at the corner of his mouth. Hunyangzi was taken aback. She looked back to Guan. As expected, she discovered the brave star was very out of sorts. Guan Ying's whole body was struggling, the great blade shuddering. The star crest on her forehead constantly flickered. Command enforcement. Hunyangzi very quickly understood where Guan Ying's suffering came from. It seems this great saint has underestimated you. Great Saint Starkiller coldly said. You really are unscrupulous. You knew that Guan would never sneak attack, so you deliberately allowed her to approach me when she was relaxed. Then you used command enforcement to force her to attack me, the sneak attack of a 5-star great blade. Honestly, even the Daluo Golden Immortal would be powerless to return to heaven. Su Xing smiled. From Great Saint Starkiller's sudden revolt to kill Ming Dai, Su Xing knew that other than engaging in détente with Guan, he had some other conspiracy. By the time he allowed Guan to say thanks, he knew Great Saint Starkiller was thinking of using this as a chance for a sneak attack. It was no wonder. Based on the interactions between Su Xing and Guan over the past few days, knowing that Guan was that sort of star general with unrivaled warrior spirit, most people would subconsciously lower their guard. In the case that the 5-star Great Blade sneak attacked, let alone Su Xing, even a supervoid cultivator would undoubtedly die. But it was a pity that Great Saint Starkiller's meticulous planning had bumped into Su Xing's careful mind. Engaging in this kind of psychological ruse, this practically was wielding a broadsword in the face of Lord Guan. You despicable fuck. Hun Yangzi despised him. Despicable is but supreme praise to a disciple of the Devil Star Palace. Ruan Jin'er sneered. However, truly as expected of the Black Turtle Territory's #1 star master, to kill your own law protector for the sake of this plan. That Ming Dai woman, this great saint has long wanted to kill her and exploited you all just now. Great Saint Starkiller showed slight disdain. He then pursed his lips tightly at Guan. Guan, you have made this great saint too disappointed. This great saint has used command enforcement. If you had complied, this purple thunder monster would have undoubtedly been down. Could it be you forgot? That you have fallen this low is all because of him. Could it you just cannot have a fair and proper star duel? Guan Ying's determination gathered once again. The brave star's willpower was extremely strong, and even her contractor's command enforcement was without a choice. Fair and proper. He has seduced this great saint's star general. Right now, this great saint wants only to use every means possible to torment him as painfully as possible. Pausing, Great Saint Starkiller smiled. Guan, do you feel that the purple thunder monster is more worthy of your companionship than this great saint? Your Highness, what are you saying? Guan Ying's face paled. These words were undoubtedly unadorned shame. Su Xing did not expect that Great Saint Starkiller would unexpectedly humiliate his own star general. Great Saint Starkiller, do you still not know? When I tried to assassinate Guan, this man and Guan had but seen each other naked. Now that they are so intimate together, it appears that the brave star has indeed ceased to be faithful. Ruan Jin'er very gleefully fanned the flames. As expected, Great Saint Starkiller was unsightly to the extreme. Purple Thunder Monster, since you are so fond of Ying, then you can have this general. When he should have been furious, Great Saint Starkiller instead laughed. The black banner in his left hand flapped. Countless rays of black chi warped and weft, that 9 hells manifested a thick beam of black light, and the entire 9 hells island was wrapped inside a dark night. Demonic clouds rolled, and the black light soared. Guan Ying's pupils shrunk. The 5 devil stars on the destined star weapon purple brilliant moon slashing blade broke apart. In a split second, a deep, dark gloom shot in all directions from the blade. Wherever it passed, the world darkened, and light became absent. The shattered devil star produced several black rays that bound Guan. Along her armor and fair white skin, spell script circulated about. A layer of black chi crawled up Guan Ying's whole body like vines, the situation dreadful. Su Xing was dumbstruck. The 9 hells can remove the devil star, but it can also release it. This banner is for the purpose of releasing the devil star. Great Saint Starkiller's sneer penetrated this dark space. The released devil star completely engulfed the star general's consciousness, entering the final stage of becoming just a walking corpse. At Psi time, the star general would lose all sentience, becoming a killing machine, forever a fallen devil star. You would unexpectedly treat your own star general in such a way. Su Xing was flabbergasted. That senseless honor should have been abandoned long ago. This great saint is willing to part, and now, Guan belongs to you, ha, 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 ha. Great Saint Starkiller hysterically laughed. To be able to see the warrior spirit Guan become a deranged devil star, this is also very satisfactory. Ruan Jin'er sneered as she retreated. Already, she was without desire for revenge. Su Xing did not hesitate at all. He raised a lantern of colored glass. This lantern's Bodhi kindling ignited with a Buddhist fire. Endless golden light flooded out, and in that light appeared celestial maidens scattering flowers. Heavenly dragons circled around, and the sound of thunder cracked, as if Amitba was chanting. The incantation lingered, and the immeasurable radiance illuminated the entire dusky world. Spreading across 10,000 zhang, it directly reached the horizon. The eyes of the five-legged golden dragons sprawled on the lantern-emitted golden light. They leapt out, and those 5-clawed golden dragons roamed the sky. They directly attacked Great Saint Starkiller, stirring up the world. Great Saint Starkiller and Ruan Jin'er were simultaneously shocked. 5 Dragons Lantern. How could Great Saint Starkiller have anticipated that the purple thunder monster would surprisingly have such a precious item, but the 5 Dragons Lantern in front of him was not exactly the same as what he had heard in legend. Legend said that the 5 Dragons Lantern could release 5 golden dragons, but not such a powerful battle formation. That Buddhist unbounded and immeasurable radiance seemed to fill the universe. It illuminated the entire deathly still endless abyss. Great Saint Starkiller's devil cultivation stirred restlessly under the light, unbearably painful. And that mind-piercing Buddhist chanting fought the devil star released Guan even harder. That is Bodhi. Great Saint Starkiller cried out in pain. Not daring to be careless, the boundless bell rang constantly, wave upon wave, clashing with that chanting. Then, Great Saint Starkiller once again used the golden magnetic divine peak. The golden magnetic divine peak instantly became a giant mountain peak, similarly covering the heavens. This mountain was of gold and yellow jade, filled with odd and jagged rocks upon it. The peak was sharp, with countless monstrous scripts flowing all over its body. The peak's bottom was nevertheless level. Golden light flashed, like large golden tadpoles swimming about. Besides this mountain was wrapped in a seemingly watery muslin golden light. Compared to the 5 Dragons Lantern's endless radiance, this golden light appeared sinister. The air seemed to distort. This was the golden magnetic divine peak's most powerful ability, first magnetic golden light. A formless pressure enveloped Su Xing, carrying the majesty of 10,000 zhang. The first magnetic golden light was intimidating. The 5-clawed golden dragons that could instantly kill a supervoid cultivator were surprisingly suppressed by the golden light, unable to move. Not only the 5-clawed golden dragons, everyone else was suppressed. They felt unable to muster any strength, however, Su Xing was still fine. With the 5 Dragons Lantern's protection, he could still resist. But this 5 Dragons Lantern that was linked to the miraculous Bodhi tree was too incredible. It continuously drained Su Xing's star energy to maintain its burning flame. But Great Saint Starkiller also was similarly suffering. He also used all of his power to release the golden magnetic divine peak, also ringing the boundless bell above his head. His star energy was diminishing extremely quickly. This black 9 hells was suppressed by 2 kinds of golden light. From time to time, the world heard the chanting of Buddha, and from time to time, it heard the ring of a bell. From time to time, there was the sound of a rumbling mountain, and from time to time, there was the roar of a golden dragon. The enormous golden magnetic divine peak was wrapped up by the 5 golden dragons. Even the 9 dragons' palace that was 10,000 li away was shaken. All the star generals could only feel the burden of Mount Tai. They could not budge at all. For the first time, even the Gongsun Huang sitting on Su Xing's shoulder showed an uncomfortable expression. Su Xing continuously formed hand seals, imbuing his magic energy into the 5 Dragons Lantern, maintaining its flame and the golden dragons. Great Saint Starkiller relied on his supercluster late-stage peak cultivation and the powerful divine mountain created from the first magnetic divine light. A spirit treasure the likes of the boundless bell had the qualifications to laugh proudly at all of Liangshan continent, unafraid of even supervoid cultivators. In his heart, he was shocked that Su Xing surprisingly could withstand it. Just what was the background of this purple thunder monster? The 5-clawed golden dragons looked to the heavens and roared. Their bodies grew hundreds of times in size. The 5 several dozen li-long dragons flew upwards. Their bodies wound around and sturdily wrapped up the giant mountain. Great Saint Starkiller was astounded. He continuously struck hand seals. There was a muffled explosion. The golden light of the golden magnetic divine peak bound by the 5-clawed golden dragons magnified. Space seemed to distort even more. The first magnetic golden light released a limitless pressure, as if the pressure of 10,000 Mount Tai bore down on him. The 5-clawed golden dragons could not sustain it. This giant mountain peak once again spun like a top, and the first magnetic golden light became even more powerful. One of the 5-clawed golden dragons was suddenly ground to dust. Su Xing held back the blood in his throat. Enduring, the endless light surged, eroding the mountain like a heavenly river. The first magnetic golden light also began to weaken. Blood leaked from the corner of Great Saint Starkiller's lips. He had no intention of retreating. The both of them were very clear. The first side to be unable to persist would undoubtedly die. Just at this moment, they suddenly heard a scream of extreme anguish. Su Xing looked, and his heart immediately sank. The Guan Great Saint Starkiller, on the other hand, showed joy. Guan had finally broken through the suppression of the endless light. Her whole body flowed with black script, staining her whole body in evil darkness. Her pupils were a frightening black. A glance was enough to make people feel as if they fell into ice water, terror-stricken. Brave Star Great Blade Guan. Devil Star released. Liked it? Chai Ling stood at the bow of her boat. The waves undulated, and an eerie gold appeared on the horizon. The sound of burning fire flared up, and a completely red burning whale swam to the side of the boat. On the whale were 2 girls. Zhang Feiyu, Shiyu, you have come as well. Chai Ling did not even glance at them. Is that in the direction of the endless abyss? Shiyu said in astonishment. Chai Ling opened her fan, showing that this clearly was the case. Is White Stripe in the waves already fine? And, isn't Su Xing careless, to unexpectedly want to go with Guan to destroy the Devil Star? This is too unreasonable. Feiyu, we should hurry over there, too. Shiyu anxiously urged. Zhang Feiyu nodded. Before they left, she gazed inquisitively at Chai Ling. The noble star little whirlwind in front of her that was positioned outside of the star duels clearly cared very much about Su Xing. This palace has no need to go. He will be fine if he has a plan. Chai Ling smiled charmingly. Zhang Feiyu and Shiyu said nothing. The burning whale ignited its flame, breaking out a scorching splash of flame on the seas. Only after their figures disappeared did Chai Ling's lovely smile gradually disappear. It was replaced by an indescribable melancholy. Legend says the 9 Nether Devil Star Stone is a stone produced in the 9 hells that drop from Star World. The chi of the 9 hells reportedly can remove the stone, but it can also make the Devil Star become even more terrifying. Chai Ling, a languid and indifferent voice came from above. Chai Ling turned her head back. Kong Ho was currently sitting leisurely on one of the boat's masts. Her hand held wine. She was drunk. Are you truly not worried about the brave star after she turns Devil Star? Kong Ho thoughtfully glanced at her. Brave Star Great Blade Guan Sheng, the head of the 5 Tigers Generals, a cavalry general. Her strength does not lose out to Lu Junyi. She has inherited the reclining moon blade technique of the Saint of War and possesses a uniquely unmatched warrior general spirit among the 108 sisters. Chai Ling did not answer but slowly narrated instead. Each word was as beautiful as a creek. Her innate skill unrivaled has even greater effectiveness when faced with the siege of several star generals. Unrivaled, truly burdensome. Kong Ho drunkenly sighed. Unrivaled. If speaking solely about the martial general spirit of star generals, indeed, she was unparalleled, but even the Saint of War generals with godlike might nevertheless lacked contributions across the 8 generations of star duels. They had never even entered the 7 Stars Assembly. Compared to Lu Junyi, Wu Song, and Lin Chong who did not sign contracts, chief of the 5 Tigers generals Guan Sheng was much more fond of finding a star master that could accompany the brave star. And such a star master often treated others with an utterly stupefying righteousness. This was not praise at all, but more like mockery. The 7 Stars Assembly of the Star Duel selected the final 7 Star Masters and Star Generals, and at this time, the Star Duels often had powerful alliances, and Guan Sheng's personality was doomed to never do this. Of course, this did not count for much. In fact, top-notch martial generals would do this, but Guan was even more tragic in that she would often be encumbered by upstanding contractors, an assembly of star generals unable to learn to deceive and cheat one another. It was better that such a way to die was not too common in the star duels, so naturally after martial generals like Lu Junyi, Wu Song, and Lin Chong Star fell, chief of the Five Tigers generals Guan inevitably would too. All star masters would not put up with the chief of the Five Tigers generals ascending Maiden Mountain, and at that time, star masters would unite with even more coordination than at any other time. The ninth brave star Guan resolved to change the situation and contracted with the most powerful star master of the Devil Star Palace, well known for deceit, but as heaven would have it, this generation was even more tragic than before. Even that legendary Devil Star was about to be born. There was no choice but to sigh. Are you truly unconcerned with the Devil Star? Kong Ho asked again. If the brave star becomes a Devil Star, without Lin Chong or Wu Song at his side, that man named Su Xing is bound to suffer misfortune. Gazing at that golden light on the horizon, Chai Ling's slender phoenix eyes had a rare bit of hurt. This palace believes that she will not become a Devil Star. Why? Kong Ho sipped her wine. Chai Ling's reply was very simple, just 11 words. Each word nevertheless was resounding and powerful, striking one's feelings. Because she is the brave star. Just this and nothing more. When Kong Ho heard, she smiled somewhat drunkenly. Do you trust her this much? Black script endlessly flickered all over Guan Ying's body. The Devil Star seemed to be secured tightly by chains. Immediately, these chains shattered, and Guan Ying's whole body was full of a deep darkness. Her eyes brimmed with the shock that could only appear for one in a nightmare. The Devil Star was released. But Guan did not appear at all willing to be taken in by the Devil Star. She tightly gripped the great blade, her taut body struggling. That indomitable and proud torso seemed to age 100 years, stooped like an old person. She relied on unimaginably tough willpower. The brave star unexpectedly was still persisting to death even under the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller's smile immediately froze. His eyes filled with pain, unreconciliation, and hate. Purple Thunder Monster. All of his hate exploded on Su Xing. Great Saint Starkiller furiously shouted, pouring all of his magic energy into the golden magnetic divine peak. Devil Chi crisscrossed all over his body, and 2 terrifying horns unexpectedly grew out of his forehead. The 8 Desolate's heavenly demon body had reached its limit. Great Saint Starkiller spared nothing in order to kill Su Xing. The golden magnetic divine peak was used by Great Saint Starkiller like this. The dark gold light expanded 100-fold. Countless ancient scripts scattered and circulated over the mountain. The world contorted under the first magnetic golden light, reversing heaven and earth, and the boundless bell continuously rang. The golden magnetic divine peak spun without restraint, crushing down. 2 more of the 5-clawed golden dragons were crushed by the golden magnetic divine peak in succession. Su Xing also did not hesitate at all to urge on all of the magic energy his body had. The meditative mind lotus flower blossomed in the air, its brilliance stronger than when it was in the Buddha kingdom, but Great Saint Starkiller's magic weapon divine peak was more powerful than Su Xing thought, especially the first magnetic divine light on the mountain. It oppressed all living things, twisted heaven and earth. If it was not for the 5 dragons' lantern containing the Bodhi as a core releasing endless light, he completely would have been unable to block. Is that man a monster? The pupils of the Ruan Jin'er to the side shrunk, casting an overwhelmed gaze at Su Xing. Great Saint Starkiller's golden magnetic divine peak was Devil Ancestor Dark Nethers. Transforming star of annihilation level magic weapon, forged with powerful abilities. It was no exaggeration to say that the prehistoric spirit treasures on the spirit ceiling list were lacking in comparison. Add on that Great Saint Starkiller had an additional boundless bell. Once this type of frightening magic weapon combination was used, let alone a supercluster cultivator, even supervoid cultivators would be helpless. But that man surprisingly could make a claim to be equal, and he was merely supercluster middle stage cultivation. This was too unimaginable. This kind of star master had to die. Ruan Jin'er's mind fell into a perilous situation. The azure sea's green duckweed in her hands stirred restlessly. Yin and Yang suppressed, heaven and earth fortune. Great Saint Starkiller again chanted. The golden magnetic divine peak spun rapidly. The first magnetic divine light storm rolled, gradually already suppressing the light. Seeing Guan was still struggling against the Devil Star, Great Saint Starkiller was impatient. Gongsun Huang pointed her sword, attempting to use star magic half-destroyed landscape. The girl was stunned, and blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. The dark technique star magic indeed was used, but this first magnetic divine light was honestly too defiant. It unexpectedly suppressed heaven and earth, and even the world-shocking half-destroyed landscape was like a pebble fallen into the ocean, with no response. There was a phoenix cry. The new heavenly phoenix flapped its wings. Its magnificent body slammed towards the golden magnetic divine peak. Su Xing shouted. The Earth Book True Spirit Empress too flew towards the golden magnetic divine peak. Yellow dust rolled, gathering into a boulder that rolled along. Within it was a chaotic thunderclap, powerfully emitting pressure. All directions were left unturned. The two exchanged blows. The sound of thunder drummed against the mountains and rivers. The deathly still endless abyss rumbled, and the entire black-colored seawater churned. An intense impact rang in the sky. A blinding golden light flashed by. The massive golden magnetic divine peak split apart with a rumble, the sound of the impact turning into a golden light that rained down. Great Saint Starkiller violently vomited blood upon receiving this blow. Su Xing also sprayed blood. The two were consuming all of the strength in their bodies, fighting evenly. Su Xing did not have the strength to lift even a finger. Although he had succeeded in destroying Great Saint Starkiller's golden magnetic divine peak, Su Xing had paid an extremely great price. The new heavenly phoenix was heavily injured, the Book of Empress too had lost much of its spiritual power, and the Buddhist light of the Five Dragons' lantern had been extinguished. Gongsun Huang gently waved a hand, and a breeze held Su Xing aloft. Guan, I order you right now to become the Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller was drained, yet he staked all of his hatred, squeezing out a bit more energy. The black Devil Star banner in his hand waved. The star crest on his forehead became black, releasing a glaring light. The contractor's compulsion and determination were channeled into Guan. The brave star's star crest on her forehead glowed. Guan struggled even more unbearably, casting an even more disappointed expression at Great Saint Starkiller. Your Highness, why, kill. Great Saint Starkiller was thoroughly mad, roaring twistedly. Perhaps Guan was still struggling during her fall into a Devil Star. Great Saint Starkiller had already entered the 9 hells, but the contractor was inherently linked to Star General. By doing so, the brave star suffered even more. Your Highness, what happens now? Gongsun Huang opened her little mouth, fearfully looking at the blackening Guan Sheng. The Su Xing with magic energy completely in overdraft formed a hand seal, activating the technique he previously learned from the Tai Sword Sect's ancestor Gui Mu, wood essence nurturing qi. This technique could maintain a star cultivator's star energy. Pills could hardly compare, and at the most dangerous moment, it could allow a star cultivator to use his final bit of magic energy. Su Xing used this last bit of magic energy, his hands forming countless seals. So I have heard, Buddha reads for commoners. Set. The final ray of Buddhist light left Su Xing's finger, piercing Guan Ying's brow. The girl's struggling then weakened. You thought you could obstruct the Devil Star? Ridiculous. Ha, 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 Great Saint Starkiller am finally the #1 overlord of the star duels. Great Saint Starkiller was frenzied, laughing practically with insanity. Damn you. Hun Yangzi raised his double sabers to kill him. Suddenly, Great Saint Starkiller felt his forehead burn with unmatched pain. The blackened resonating star crest was red as hot iron, painfully breaking Great Saint Starkiller. Since this is so, you already do not deserve to act as this general's master. Guan Ying's tone was bleak, turning in a split second from the torment of the Devil's Star back to radiating light. Great Saint Starkiller was shocked. The star crest on his forehead surprisingly slowly faded, disappearing in the end. In the sky, a crimson star went dark. Impossible. Great Saint Starkiller felt his forehead in shock, and his whole body trembled. Everyone was dumbstruck. Contract, rescinded. It is impossible for a complete star general to rescind a contract. Great Saint Starkiller was incapable of accepting this fact and screamed. As he said, unless special means were used on a complete star general under a contract, it was very difficult to rescind the contract, no matter how much one wished. Unless Guan Ying's inherent warrior spirit had already reached a realm that all other brave stars had never reached. And this realm can't ever be bound even by a mutual contract, Su Xing exclaimed. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.